Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Krypton Life Martial Saint, Invincible from All Lifespan. Chapter 41. Lu Yuan stopped and looked back. She is a woman wearing the attire of an inner disciple of the Nine Shadow Demon sect. Way Yuan Realm's 7th layer. This kind of cultivation is considered relatively powerful among the inner disciples of the Nine Shadow Demon sect. But the gap between him and Lu Yuan is as thick as clouds and mud. If a weak person provokes a strong person, someone will die. Boom! Lu Yuan's figure disappeared on the spot, leaving afterimages in the crowd. When it appears again, the strong palm has pinched the man's Tianling cap and lifted it up directly. Help, Master Lu, I was wrong, don't kill me. The palms of her hands gradually tightened, and the disciple of the Nine Shadow Demon sect felt that her head would explode in the next second. At this time, he didn't have time to think about why Lu Yuan became so powerful. He just wants to live now. It's Wei Ming. Wei Ming is right here. If you want revenge, just go find him. I don't know anything. Before he finished speaking, the head had already exploded. Congratulations to the host, for killing 9 Shadow Demon sect inner disciples and cultivating to the Return to Origin realm. Total lifespan, 320 years. Remaining lifespan, 250 years. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 250 years. The scarlet blood energy raged, and the people around him immediately retreated away. This is just a training place, there is no competition for resources or position. Therefore, few people will take action here. The most important thing is that they never expected that this handsome young man would be so shocking when he made a move. Powerful and cruel, especially after killing the person. The blood spattered on the snow-white robe, leaving blood-red marks, which made people feel hairy in their hearts. How dare you kill 9 Shadow Demon sect disciples in public? This person is simply a lunatic. The people from the 9 Shadow Demon sect will be here soon. This guy is finished. Only the Shansha guard didn't think so. How can you see through the strength of our seniors? No matter who comes, they will be dead today. Thinking of the terrifying sword light on Shansha, a secret joy flashed across the middle-aged monk's face. He couldn't wait to see how miserable these people would die. Lu Yuan's powerful kill naturally attracted more people's attention. In the core area, the strong men who were immersed in cultivation all turned their attention to Lu Yuan. There is one woman who is particularly eye-catching. She has an elegant temperament and a proud figure. Her white clothes with gold patterns make her even more noble, making people dare not look directly at her. Her beautiful eyes were fixed on Lu Yuan, and a glint of disbelief flashed in her eyes. How is it possible that I can't sense his realm? Behind her, followed a man with sinful lines on his face. His aura was strong and calm, and he was obviously a powerful guard. But after sensing Lu Yuan's state, his face immediately became serious. Princess Yu, this person is a master of the primordial spirit realm. His strength is unfathomable and should not be easily provoked. Mo Yu was obviously not convinced. She was the daughter of the sovereign clan, and her talent in cultivation was so high that no one among her peers could match her. Primordial Spirit Realm, Chu Weiwei, you are a mid-term master of primordial spirit. Even you are not his opponent. Princess Yu, I am not sure, but this person is very powerful and can be ruthless. We are here for training. There is no need to provoke such a powerful enemy. Guard Chu was very serious. All right, Mo Yu pursed his lips, obviously still a little unconvinced, but his eyes looking at Lu Yuan were a little more curious. Right now, a group of people are coming from outside the ancient monument. They are dressed in the costumes of the disciples of the 9 Shadow Demon sect, and they are menacing. The young disciple at the head of the group was particularly conspicuous. His eyes are stern, his temperament is unique, and the status jade medal he wears on his waist highlights his extraordinary status. 9 true disciples of Shadow Demon sect. Wei Ming. There were exclamations from the crowd. The true disciples of the 9 Shadow Demon sect came in person. This was undoubtedly a big event. What's more, today someone killed 9 Shadow Demon sect disciples in public. It seems that a war is inevitable. Wei Ming from the 9 Shadow Demon sect is here. He is a true disciple of the 9 Shadow Demon sect, with a prominent family background, the ancestor of the primordial spirit realm, and the uncle of the primordial spirit realm. Who can rival him? Yes, no one can suppress Wei Ming except Zhang Mushui back then. It is said that Wei Ming also pursued Zhang Mushui back then, but he was beaten up because he annoyed Zhang Mushui. It is said that he lay in bed for half a month. Real or fake? This Wei Ming also has a flame spirit body after all, but there is still such a big gap between him and Zhang Mushui. Then Zhang Mushui is the 9-day black ice divine body. How can the flame spirit body be compared to it? However, Zhang Mushui is dead. Now the strongest disciple of the 9 Shadow Demon sect is Wei Ming. If this kid offends Wei Ming, he is dead. Wei Ming has long been a well-known talent. Everyone is well aware of his strength and background. Today, this young man provokes the 9 Shadow Demon sect in public. Wei Ming will definitely kill this person with thunder to show the majesty of the 9 Shadow Demon sect. Who dares to challenge our 9 Shadow Demon sect? Everyone from the 9 Shadow Demon sect came forward, but after seeing Lu Yuan's appearance, their expressions were very exciting. Everyone opened their mouths wide, looking in disbelief. Especially Wei Ming, who frowned and asked in confusion, "You're not dead?" Lu Yuan sneered. These people actually thought that he should be dead. Wei Ming looked cruel. "If that's the case, then I'll kill you with my own hands." Immediately, a huge aura surged out of his body, and the sleeves of the monks around him flew away, and the weak ones were even knocked to the ground. "That's it," Lu Yuan shrugged and said provocatively. Wei Ming showed anger and issued the order word for word, "Kill him." He is the legitimate son of the Wei family, the young prodigy holding the 8th layer. And there is also an ancestor of the primordial spirit realm, the master of the primordial spirit realm, and the uncle of the primordial spirit realm. Behind him stood 3 primordial spirit realm backstage. Therefore, Wei Ming does not allow anyone to show off in front of him. Under Wei Ming's fierce gaze, several inner disciples of the 9 Shadow Demon sect behind him immediately rushed towards Lu Yuan. Seeing that the 9 people were all young, Lu Yuan nodded with great satisfaction. Immediately, he held his sword fingers in his right hand, and a long sword condensed by spiritual power was suspended in front of his 2 fingers. At the command of the sword, the first person who rushed forward was split in half from the crotch to the head. Blood and entrails flowed all over the floor. People around him screamed in terror. Lu Yuan looked at Wei Ming's shocked expression, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, and finally found the culprit. "Today, I will let you die in despair." As soon as the words fell, Lu Yuan's figure completely disappeared. Afterwards, several of Lu Yuan's men howled like slaughtering pigs almost at the same time. When Wei Ming turned around and looked around, he found that the limbs of the other 8 people had been cut off. Blood spurted out, and broken limbs were scattered on the ground. A look of fear appeared on Wei Ming's face for the first time. Impossible. How is this possible? How could that waste become so powerful? In Wei Ming's eyes, Lu Yuan's figure completely disappeared. Only his men were wailing one after another. Then, they fell into a pool of blood one by one. The terror comes not only from Lu Yuan's powerful strength, but more importantly from the unknown. From the beginning to the end, Wei Ming didn't even see where Lu Yuan was. It seems like an invisible ghost is harvesting lives. He only felt a trance in front of his eyes, and then the figure that made him frightened was already standing in front of him. Wei Ming's legs trembled, and finally he collapsed on the ground with a plop, and then used his feet together to crawl back as hard as he could. "You are not a human. You are a ghost. Lu Yuan is dead. You are a ghost. Congratulations to the host, for killing 9 Shadow Demon sect inner disciples and cultivating to the return to origin realm. Total lifespan, 320 years. Remaining lifespan, 170 years. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 170 years. Congratulations to the host, for killing 9 Shadow Demon sect inner disciples and returning to the origin. A total of 180 and 55 years. Sure enough, killing people and taking away their lives is the most satisfying thing. Especially killing such large sect disciples who are relatively talented. If you have a lot of longevity, it is easier to kill. Lu Yuan's eyes fell on Wei Ming. Those eyes flashed with scarlet color, like a hunter seeing his prey. Wei Ming felt a chill to his bones under his gaze. Lu Yuanxin had a thought in his mind. The spiritual blade was once again suspended in the air. At this moment, a long sword shot from a distance like a meteor chasing the moon, and was accurately inserted into the ground in front of Lu Yuan, making a crisp impact sound. My little friend, you have to be merciful and merciful. With a powerful word, a gray-haired old man holding Fuchin appeared in front of Wei Ming. The old Taoist pulled out his long sword, smiled, and said to Lu Yuan in a gentle tone, "Little friend, for my sake, let's just let this go for today, how about that?" When Wei Ming saw the person coming, the panic on his face was instantly replaced by surprise, and then he looked at Lu Yuan fiercely. "Uncle, kill him, ha 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 ha." Wei Ming wiped the tears and snot from his face and became arrogant again. "Zhang Mushui, have you seen it? Not only do I want you to die, I also want to kill your dearest brother with my own hands." Wei Ming looked in the direction of the forbidden area of Skull Mountain, with a happy expression on his face as if he had just avenged his great revenge. "Who told you to treat me like that? I am obviously the person with the best talent in the 9 Shadow Demon sect. It is obvious that we are the most suitable. But why do you never look at me? But why do you pay so much attention to this body-tempered third-layer waste?" He even risked his life to find various elixirs for him to increase his qualifications. "Go to hell." Wei Ming's fierce gaze fell on Lu Yuan, like a ferocious hungry wolf. "Uncle, kill him quickly." Way Dewan is a primordial spirit realm, so he can naturally see Lu Yuan's strength. This is definitely the scent of the primordial spirit realm. And the realm is higher than him. "This idiot nephew, shut up. Why did you call me here just to ask me to kill someone who is more powerful than me? I just entered the primordial spirit realm. Doesn't this mean I'm going to die? This idiot nephew is so filial. If he had known that the enemy was so powerful, Way Dewan would never have come out to show off. But I regret it now, it's too late. A family." Lu Yuan nodded. "Then let's reunite you. A family should be neat and tidy." Lu Yuan's figure disappeared from the spot again. Then, a terrifying spiritual blade struck Way Dewan hard with the force of breaking through the air. Boom! The swords collided and sparks flew everywhere. The burst of spiritual power rippled out, causing the monks within several kilometers around to feel their hearts stagnant. Way Dewan's body flew out directly, and after hitting the ground, it plowed a ravine dozens of meters away on the ground. PFF'd, squirting out a mouthful of blood, Way Dewan looked at the young man in disbelief. There is indeed a gap in cultivation between the two, but they can't be killed instantly. In any case, he is also a primordial spirit realm master. Is this just like a fly, swatted away with just one slap? Not giving any face at all. The crowd watching the battle was even more shocked. What the hell? Ah, this young man is so fierce. He killed 9 shadow demon sects in a row and seriously injured a primordial spirit realm monk with one blow. Such a young primordial spirit realm monk, 9 shadow demon sect has kicked the bucket this time. Core zone. Although Mo Yu was still unconvinced, the strength shown by Lu Yuan was indeed very powerful. Humph, I will surpass him sooner or later. Guard Chu shook his head. This person is indeed powerful, but he doesn't seem to have the law weapon to take advantage of him. As a monk in the primordial spirit realm, Way Dewan naturally noticed this. His eyes fell on the blade condensed with spiritual power in Lu Yuan's hand, and he couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope in his heart. His law weapon is at level 5, although it is not top level. But law weapon is law weapon after all, and he is confident that he can use it to turn the tide of the battle. Kill. Way Dewan suddenly slapped the ground with his palm, and his whole body rose into the air like a cannonball. With a movement of his mind, the long sword law weapon in his hand turned into a stream of light and rushed towards Lu Yuan. The long sword drew countless afterimages in the air, like a giant net, tightly covering Lu Yuan. A proud smile appeared on Way Dewan's lips. Facing a strong enemy, he showed his weakness and endured humiliation, finally finding a good opportunity and killing him with one blow. Even he had to admire this operation. I'm such a genius. Way Dewan's eyes flashed, and the monstrous sword light slashed at Lu Yuan, who was in the sword energy cage. The sword energy is like a dragon, majestic. Die. Wei Ming laughed more and more crazily and proudly. Dead, finally dead. Uncle is mighty, kill him. The crowd of onlookers also opened their mouths. This rare battle between the strong men of the primordial spirit realm is finally coming to an end. This young man is still too young after all. The Shansha guards also widened their eyes. No, senior, be careful. Core zone. Mo Yu's eyes were indifferent. This young man is somewhat good-looking, but it's a pity. Guard Chu also shook his head. This young man will never be able to break through the sword energy cage and will be dead. In this world, it is the stupidest choice for the weak to provoke the strong. In the cage of sword energy, countless rays of bright sword energy fell. Under the violent rain of swords, Lu Yuan stood with his hands behind his back. Only the majestic power of qi and blood swept through, and a ferocious demonic dragon phantom condensed. The magic dragon danced wildly around Lu Yuan, forming a protective shield. The sword energy that covered the sky and the sun struck the demon dragon's illusory figure, making a tooth-wrenching, crack, sound. But these tens of millions of sword blades cannot break through this thin protective shield no matter what. The sword energy dissipated. The young man's figure is still standing upright. There wasn't even a single scratch on his body, not even a single wrinkle in his clothes. Everyone was shocked by this young man's performance. How could this be possible? In such a raging prison of sword energy, how could he still survive in the face of attacks from thousands of sword energy? You've had enough fun, you can go die. Lu Yuan stood in the air, pointing his sword lightly at the void. Swish, swish, swish. Several ferocious blades shot out from Lu Yuan's body, cutting through strange arcs, leaving several holes in Way Dewan's body. Blood spurts. Silence. The whole world fell into absolute silence. Only Wei Ming fell to his knees in collapse, his voice full of despair. Grandpa Lu, please spare my life. When I go back, I will definitely ask my ancestor to accept you as his true disciple. How about I introduce my master to you? She is the master of Heihuan Peak and has a very good figure. Wei Ming's Taoist heart has completely collapsed. This was because Lu Yuan was frightened. As long as he can survive, he is willing to pay no matter what the cost. No need. Lu Yuan's lips and teeth opened slightly, and his emotionless voice came out. They're all waiting for you down there. I will reunite your family right now. A shadow of a knife flashed past, Wei Ming's head was thrown high, and blood poured down like rain. Congratulations to the host for killing the 9th Shadow Demon Sect Elder Way Dewan and cultivating the Primordial Spirit First Layer. Total lifespan, 1,612 years. Remaining lifespan, 920 years. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 920 years. Congratulations to the host, for killing 9 Shadow Demon Sect True Disciples Wei Ming, cultivating 8th Layer. Total lifespan, 812 years. Remaining lifespan, 750 years. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 750 years. Killed these people. Lu Yuan's soul first scanned Wei Ming's storage bag. It didn't take long to find some good stuff. Dragon Root Pill. The special elixir that increases the strength of male monks is very precious. Once at an auction in Celestial Immortal City, a Dragon Root Pill was sold for 1,000 middle-grade spiritual stones. There are also several books on Xuanji martial arts and one on local-level martial arts. This young man is really strong. The people around Shancha guards exclaimed. They had heard the Shancha guard brag about Lu Yuan before, and even said that he had killed level 5 monsters. But in this case, it is impossible for them to believe it. After all, a 20-year-old young man would not be able to break through to the primordial spirit realm even if he started practicing in his mother's womb. But Lu Yuan did it. The Shancha guard turned red with excitement. Let me just say, he is our Shancha's savior. The tens of thousands of poisonous insects at that time were killed by him in an instant. This primordial spirit monk is not good either. Senior Lu has not yet used his full strength. Core zone. Mo Yu and the guard Chu both widened their eyes. How can this be? Guard Chu's eyes widened. He had said with great certainty before that the young man would definitely die. This slap in the face came too quickly. Chu guards immediately said to the princess, "Your Highness, this person is extremely talented. If he grows up in the future, he will definitely become a giant." The old slave suggests that the princess take the initiative to make friends with this person. But Mo Yu raised his head like a proud peacock. "I don't want it." Lu Yuan, right, this princess will remember you. In the future, this princess will definitely surpass you and become even more powerful than you. Let's go, let's enter the Skull Mountain Forbidden Area now and help me break through to the primordial spirit realm. After that, he turned around and left. Guard Chu shook his head helplessly and smiled bitterly. This Princess Yu is really as proud as ever. However, although Princess Yu is highly talented, she is still one of the best among the sovereign clan. But I want to surpass this genius. It's not easy either. Unlike the proud princess of Lingwu Kingdom, the others licked it directly. Start giving all kinds of compliments. Young master's talent is unparalleled in the world. Killing these evil thieves today will really please people's hearts. Yes, the Wei family practices magic, and I don't know how many boys and girls have been poisoned by it. This young master is doing justice for heaven, and it is a great merit. Quote. Lu Yuan directly and automatically filtered the noisy voices of these people. First, the souls of these people were gathered through the Edict of Ghosts and Gods. Then a wriggling ghost mist appeared in his hand. The people he kills will completely disappear from this world. There is no chance of reincarnation. Kill people and take away their lives, swallow their souls. Lu Yuan paused for a moment, and an illusion arose in his heart. Why do you feel that these moves are so similar to those of a villain? Never mind, let's continue to look at their storage bags, maybe there are some good stuff. Lu Yuan investigated carefully. This time, the harvest was good. Low-grade spiritual stones are 130,000, and middle-grade spiritual stones are 7,000. The most important thing is that there are 7 martial arts books. Remaining plunder longevity, 5,166 years. Lu Yuan slowly walked towards the ancient monument. The people around him immediately made way for a passage in a tacit understanding. Come to the core area. The primordial spirit realm monks here are also very respectful. Come on, let's squeeze in a little bit first so that little friend Lu can get closer to the stone monument so that he can practice with peace of mind. Yes, Brother Lu is very powerful and deserves the best position. Brother Lu, please. These monks from the primordial spirit realm didn't even have a trace of arrogance when facing Lu Yuan. Instead, he was very respectful, and there was even a hint of fear in his eyes. This is just a matter of pure strength. Lu Yuan is stronger than them, so they must bow their heads. These primordial spirit realm monks are naturally domineering in front of low-level monks. But when facing monks who are stronger than them, they still have to pretend to be grandsons. This is the truth of this world. The weak eat the strong. Lu Yuan was not humble. We came directly to the bottom of the ancient monument. The pressure here is indeed stronger, and you can also feel the traces of time. Lu Yuan reached out and touched the stone tablet. I immediately felt a very strong sense of oppression. This pressure gave him a feeling that was a little more powerful than tickling, like a massage. Lu Yuan felt a little disappointed. But at this moment, Lu Yuan seemed to see a vague golden figure in the ancient monument. The Taoist shadow is very huge, surrounded by golden light, and can destroy mountains and rivers with a single strike. Buzz. A huge buzzing sound came from the ancient monument on Skull Mountain. Then a beam of energy light shot out from the ancient monument and shot straight into the sky. Then, the light pillar turned into a dazzling golden light and enveloped Lu Yuan. He is recognized by the stone tablet. Oh my god, what's going on? Why is the golden light shining on Mr. Lu? What's going on? Mr. Lu must have been recognized by the stone tablet. I once heard a legend that this ancient monument on Skull Mountain is a relic from ancient times and has the function of identifying talented people. Only those peerless geniuses can be recognized by the stone tablet, thereby attracting golden light into their bodies and gaining powerful power. We have been practicing here for more than a year before we introduced a ray of golden light into our body. Now Mr. Lu has directly absorbed all the golden light. Is this the difference between ordinary people and geniuses? Looking at the young man who was in meditation, everyone was silent. This is the young genius. Lu Yuan closed his eyes slightly. These golden lights were actively penetrating into his body. Under the blessing of golden light, his physical body seemed to become stronger, and it seemed that he had some special power of rules. However, the efficiency of absorbing golden light in this way is too low. If you turn on the system here and perform simulations, it should be able to absorb a lot of golden light. Doubts arose in Lu Yuan's heart. Immediately, he turned on the system and simulated the earth-level martial arts he had received from Wei Ming before practicing. You have started to practice the earth-level martial arts, dragon playing with pearls. Although the progress of the skills is slow, because you are in a special place, the special golden energy is integrating into your body. This is actually the power that belongs to a strong person in the golden body realm. A bold idea arises in your mind. If you integrate all the golden body artistic conceptions here into your own body, can you gain the power of the golden body realm? 235 years later, you will practice martial arts to the realm of great accomplishment. 302 years later, Mandarin ducks playing in the water reached its perfection. Lu Yuan accepted the martial arts insights, but without taking it seriously, he continued to simulate new martial arts. Start simulating the Xuanji martial arts, 9 Suns method. What the hell? Why is Mr. Lu's dantian glowing? What is going on? Oh my god, what is that? The golden light is shocking. They had never seen such rich golden light. Immediately afterwards, everyone discovered something even more magical. As the golden light poured into his body, Lu Yuan's entire body was emitting golden light. And the absorption efficiency is extremely fast. Every few seconds, the golden light on Lu Yuan's body would surge. How can this be? The power of the golden body is actively infiltrating Mr. Lu's body. It's been a long time since I've seen you. The old man has been practicing here for a year for a trace of golden body energy. Master Lu can actually absorb so much golden light. I have been practicing here for 5 years, but it can't compare to Master Lu in a few seconds. It's really irritating to see people compare to each other. Mediocre people like us are really trash. Half an hour later, Lu Yuan suddenly felt that he could no longer absorb it, so he stopped simulating and opened his eyes. Golden light burst out from his body, rendering his hair and pupils a bright golden color. His blood was still boiling, surging like a frenzy. The golden light turned into a blazing flame, burning violently. It made all the corners of his clothes and hair rise into the sky. Endless divine light radiated from his body, carrying a terrifying pressure that even space was distorted. Under this coercion, the strong men below the Danbao realm could only crawl on the ground, unable to move. Even the powerful ones in the primordial spirit realm in the core area felt unprecedented pressure and did not even dare to look directly at the golden figure standing in the sky. The young man's golden pupils flashed with divine light. Every flicker seemed to cause the surrounding void to vibrate subtly. He seems to be the son of the ancient Godfiend, born to be heaven and earth supreme. Is this a trace of the power of the ancient strongman in the ancient monument? Too strong. Golden body realm. Although he has not reached this realm yet, he knows that it is only a matter of time before he breaks through. Lu Yuan's eyes flashed with anticipation. But the people around him have gone crazy, and they simply cannot believe their eyes. This pressure, the golden body realm. No, it's just a trace of the pressure of the golden body realm. It should be with the blessing of the ancient monument that it has such terrifying power. Look, the golden light on the ancient monument has disappeared, and it seems to have been completely absorbed by him. Holy shit, how is this possible? Even after tens of thousands of years, this golden light has only weakened slightly, and now it has disappeared. Master Lu actually sucked it clean. This son is like the son of Godfiend, he will surely shock the entire spirit martial kingdom in the future. A strong person from the primordial spirit realm commented. Yes, he was already so powerful before, and now that he has absorbed the power of a strong man with a golden body, I am afraid that even the Violet Palace monks do not dare to compete with him. How could there be such a terrifying person? He is still in the primordial spirit realm, but he sucked up all the energy of a strong man with a golden body. The Shancha guard jumped up in excitement. I've actually been on a Shancha with such a person, and he even asked me questions. I won't brag about this for the rest of my life. Call. Lu Yuan felt the changes in his physical body, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. It is worthy of the power of the golden body realm. It actually made his body carry a trace of the characteristics of the golden body realm. Ordinary primordial spirit realm strong men cannot even withstand one of his punches. Even ordinary Violet Palace realm strong men can be killed by him with his body. It's not that Lu Yuan looks down on those Violet Palace monks, it's just that the power of this golden body realm is too powerful. His physical strength has increased dozens of times. Moreover, he also possesses the characteristics of the golden body realm, so ordinary attacks cannot cause harm to him at all. Moreover, Lu Yuan has not yet completely integrated these golden energies. When it is fully integrated, it will inevitably become stronger. These 1,000 years of life were not wasted. When he absorbed the golden light before, he spent 1,000 years of life practicing 1 Earth-level martial arts and 10 Zon-level martial arts. His cultivation level also improved by 1 level. Now it is Primordial Spirit Realm 5th layer. Host: Lu Yuan. Realm: Primordial Spirit 5th layer. Martial Arts: Zon Jia, Pure Yang Kung, Blood Fiend Pill, Glimpse, Tracking in the Sky, Prison Suppressing Magic Kung Fu. Earth level: Immortal Soul Seed, and Dragon Playing with Pearls. Heaven level: Demon Dragon Body Shield Enhanced, Heaven Defying Broken Blade Enhanced, 1,000 Soul Sacrifice Edict of Ghosts and Gods Enhanced. Remaining lifespan: 1,751 years. Remaining plundered longevity: 4,066 years. These dozen Zon-level martial arts were all obtained by Lu Yuan from the elders of the 9 Shadow Demon sect. Of course, there are also the martial arts in the storage bags of several members of the Way family. The main ones are physical training martial arts, sword fighting martial arts, and footwork. The golden light converged into the body, and the Godfiend-like aura on the body completely disappeared. At this moment, a ray of dim moonlight shines on Lu Yuan. He has a slender figure, white clothes like snow, and is very gentle. Anyone who takes a look at it will be exclaimed that he is a handsome young man. Such a scene can even cause people here to have misconceptions. Is this handsome young man, who looks as gentle as jade, really the terrifying being who was as powerful as Godfiend just now? However, when they saw Lu Yuan approaching, everyone immediately reacted and congratulated him. Fellow Taoist Lu, congratulations. Fellow Taoist Lu has gained such a powerful golden body power. This trip to the forbidden area of Skull Mountain will definitely be more confident. It is truly an honor for us to meet fellow Taoist Lu here. Fellow Taoist Lu, congratulations on getting an opportunity here. With the power of this golden body, there may be the possibility of entering the golden body realm in the future. Golden body realm, that is a strong man who only exists in legends. The compliments from everyone continued. Even the primordial spirit realm monks are the same, but their names have changed. There were even a few gray-haired old men who shamelessly called Lu Yuan, Senior, directly. Lu Yuan cupped his hands and looked at the ancient steel, which looked like an ordinary rock. Sorry, I accidentally absorbed the power of this golden body. I'm afraid you all have to leave here. Everyone immediately waved their hands and said with a smile, anyway, the power of this golden body is an ownerless thing. Whether it can be absorbed depends entirely on oneself. Yes, fellow Taoist Lu, there is no need to worry, we are not petty people. Lu Yuan smiled, cupped his hands and was about to leave. But at this moment, a solemn voice sounded, and every word struck Lu Yuan's soul. Donor, you are too murderous. Donor, why do you practice ferocious demonic skills? Donor, when has it been time to retaliate? Why can't we choose to forgive? Namo Amitabha, Duodagata, the sea of bitterness is boundless, turning back as the shore. Duodie, waves of Sanskrit sounds rippled through the air, as if there were thousands of monks chanting sutras in unison around the crowd. The voice was melodious and deep, but it carried an indescribable magic power and controlled the surrounding monks. The power contained in the Sanskrit sounds is painful. The monks in the Guiyuan realm held their heads in their hands, rolling on the ground in pain, their faces distorted. In the end, some monks exploded and died in extreme pain, with their flesh and blood flying everywhere. The scene was horrific. Even the powerful monks in Baodan realm were in agony under the attack of this Sanskrit sound. They only felt that the world was spinning and they had a splitting headache. Ah, I can't stand it anymore, kill me, kill me. There were several strong men in the Danbao realm who couldn't bear it anymore and rolled on the ground in pain, even hitting their heads against rocks. It wasn't until his head was bleeding and he lost consciousness that he was freed from the pain. Only the strong men in the primordial spirit realm, relying on their powerful souls, can barely resist this terrifying Sanskrit sound. A primordial spirit realm monk opened his eyes wide, resisting the invasion of Sanskrit sounds, and spoke with difficulty, Buddhism, and he is a strong one among Buddhism. At least the primordial spirit realm, or the Violet Palace realm. When did such a terrifying Buddhist monk appear in our Lingwu kingdom? Guy, why don't you come out yet? They realize. This mysterious Buddhist monk actually planned to use Buddhism to purify their souls. Once successful, they will be forced to become Buddhists. How can this still be Buddhism? This is simply more demonic than the demonic sect. As time went by, the Sanskrit sounds seemed to gradually stop, and everyone felt that the pressure dropped suddenly. The Sanskrit sounds seemed to have stopped. No, these Sanskrit sounds are all directed at Lu, fellow Taoist, and we are relieved. This monster monk is so terrifying, fellow Taoist Lu is in danger. The demon monk is weird, let's go. Sacred golden rays of light condensed in the void, turning into Buddhist inscriptions and bright stars, surrounding Lu Yuan and rotating slowly. As if to completely convert him. Lu Yuan raised his eyebrows slightly, thinking of the legend Zhang Mushui once mentioned. Jinshan Temple, a terrifying and strange force. Jin Chan Temple majors in Buddhist martial arts, but behaves strangely. He often saves sentient beings in the name of Dharma gatherings and uses strange Dharma to change the hearts of others. Once he attains enlightenment, he will become a monk of Jinshan Temple as if he were a different person. In this way, Jinshan Temple expanded rapidly and once controlled the entire country, transforming the entire country's people into Buddhist monks. And prepare to use more crazy ways to save all sentient beings. The boycott by other countries made Jin Chan Temple slightly restrained in its behavior. However, the monks of Jinshan Temple still look for young geniuses from time to time and convert them into the temple. Lu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. It seems that this is the monk from Jinshan Temple, and he is also the old bald donkey from Violet Palace realm. However, this Sanskrit sound had no influence on him. His soul and body are extremely powerful, and he also has a golden body to protect his body. Come out, old bald donkey. Lu Yuan stood with his hands behind his back, looking calm. What about Violet Palace realm? He is now confident enough to crush any strong person in Violet Palace realm. The monks who fled far away were dumbfounded when they saw that Lu Yuan was not only not afraid of the terrifying Buddhist sonic martial arts, but also dared to provoke a strong man from the Violet Palace realm. Fellow Taoist Lu is really powerful, and he actually ignored such terrifying sonic martial arts. Yes, logically speaking, although the soul can resist this kind of martial arts, he is so young that he should not have time to temper the soul. But now it seems that the soul of fellow Taoist Lu is extremely powerful. It can even easily resist the attack of the monks of Violet Palace realm. Fellow Taoist Lu, it's hard to imagine how he practices. Everyone fled to a distance and began to watch the battle. At this time, a golden light fell from the sky. A monk appeared out of thin air, wearing a bright red cassock, with 6 red spots on his head, a round figure, and kind eyebrows and kind eyes. He held 1,000 Jin Zen staff in his right hand, and gently held a golden relic in his left hand. The slightly narrowed eyes revealed the compassion of the enlightened monk. Amitabha, the poor monk's Dharma name is Si Xing. Donor Lu, you are indeed just like the legend. Not only are you extremely talented, you also have amazing opportunities. The poor monk asked you if you would like to convert to Buddhism. There was a trace of unquestionable majesty in Sixing's voice. It seems that he is not asking. It's like informing Lu Yuan. Lu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly, he naturally did not want to join Buddhism. And this old bald donkey is not a good guy at first glance. But this Buddhist teaching is somewhat interesting. It can actually use sound as a means of attack, not only to confuse people, but also to make people insane. Master Sixing saw that Lu Yuan was unmoved, and a trace of greed flashed in his eyes. Donor, have you ever received a set of ghost control techniques? Sixing passed through Lingwu country a few days ago. Later, I heard the legend of Lu Yuan, who broke through the primordial spirit realm from the tempered body 3rd layer in just a few days. There must be a great opportunity. Therefore, Sixing chased him all the way until he was in the forbidden ancient city and heard that this boy had obtained the ancient martial arts, ghost control technique. Sixing followed him all the way. Sure enough, Donor Lu did not disappoint the poor monk. Not only did he possess the ghost control technique, he also absorbed all the golden light. Donor Lu is worthy of the name of genius. Not only is he powerful, but he is also very lucky. Not only has he acquired a complete set of ancient martial arts inheritance, but he has also integrated the meaning of this golden body into his physical body today. Donor Lu, the sea of bitterness is boundless. When you turn back, you will reach the shore. Follow the poor monk and convert to Buddhism, and you will become a golden arhat. Lu Yuan smiled. This old bald donkey turned out to be here to rob the ghost control technique. It just so happened that he needed a strong opponent to test the golden light he absorbed. And this old bald donkey should have also practiced body-refining martial arts. Definitely a proper punching bag. Lu Yuan stepped into the void, his eyes flickered, a terrifying aura surged out of his body, and the entire void was trembling. If you want to fight, then fight. Bah! The demon monk shouted loudly, and his whole body suddenly swelled into a giant more than 3 meters tall. The muscles all over the body are tangled and reflect the metallic luster, as if they were made of brass. Heaven-level body training martial arts. Little Nirvana golden body. This is a kind of martial arts created by simulating the golden body of a strong person in the golden body realm. Can greatly increase physical strength. The huge golden body hit the ground. Sixing clasped his hands together and bowed slightly. Donor Lu, be careful. Then he ran wildly in the direction of Lu Yuan, causing the ground to shake with every step he took. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Yuan also has no ink marks. The shadow of the demon dragon emerged from the body and instantly turned into a stream of black and white light, rushing towards the golden body of the demon monk. Boom. Neither of them used martial arts, they just competed with the purest physical strength, punching to the flesh, very passionate. Every collision will make the void vibrate. The strong men around him were all stunned. The bodies of these two people are so terrifying. In such a battle, if we, the primordial spirit realm monks, get close, we may be easily crushed to death. I have heard of the physical martial art, Little Nirvana, performed by Xing. It is indeed a powerful martial art. But what is the martial arts that Lu Yuan performs? It feels so strange. It seems to have many shadows of martial arts, but it is not exactly the same. Moreover, this Lu Yuan is too powerful. He can actually fight against the Violet Palace realm with the primordial spirit realm. Not sure. That Little Nirvana golden body is not an ordinary body-refining martial arts. It is said that after practicing to the great accomplishment, you can have a trace of the power of a strong person in the golden body realm. These people can't understand the battle on the field. Because what Lu Yuan showed exceeded their knowledge. At this time, the battle between Lu Yuan and Xing also became more and more intense. Boom! The 3-meter-tall Xing stood in the sky, with huge golden palms slapping towards it. Lu Yuan had no intention of defending at all. Clench your fists, twist your body, bottom up. The afterimage of the demon dragon spun up from his arm and hit the golden Xing's chin hard. The tall golden figure drew a parabola in midair and landed heavily in the forest. Then, the demonic dragon's afterimage exploded, causing secondary damage. The entire mountain forest was turned into pieces of wood under the sweep of this force. At the same time, Lu Yuan was also hit by Xing's palm and flew backwards. Click! A crisp sound sounded, and several fine cracks appeared on the magic dragon protective cover. Lu Yuan raised his eyebrows slightly. This is the first time that this heaven-level martial arts has been breached. Old bald donkey Little Nirvana golden body is indeed a heaven-level body-refining martial arts. After a while, the huge golden figure got up from the ground. Puff! Xing wiped the golden blood from the corner of his mouth and spat out a few broken teeth. Donor Lu, you really have many opportunities. This mysterious body-training martial arts is no worse than the poor monk's Little Nirvana golden body. Next, the poor monk will use all his strength. The donor must be careful. Xing's eyes were slightly closed, and a dazzling golden light emerged from his golden body. I saw 2 new arms slowly growing under those 2 arms. 4-armed golden body. This is the complete golden body of Little Nirvana. Boom, boom, boom. The two collided again, but this time Lu Yuan was suppressed. Xing is Monk Violet Palace. Lu Yuan was a little overwhelmed by exerting his heavenly body refining martial arts with all his strength. The most important thing is that this Little Nirvana gold dress is really interesting and can actually unite 4 arms. As the saying goes, 2 fists are no match for 4. Nowadays, these 4 palms are still controlled by the same person, and they are in perfect harmony. Boom! Sixing seized the opportunity, smacked his palms, and directly launched Lu Yuan away. He rolled thousands of meters on the ground and smashed countless rocks and bones before stopping. Lu Yuan sat on the ground, breathing heavily. What an awesome old bald ass. This is to force him to stop practicing martial ethics. He will use the heavenly demon blade to suppress Xing. A golden light emerged from the body, which was the golden light of the stone tablet that had been absorbed before. Although this golden light can strengthen his physical body. But this newly absorbed power is very awkward to control. Now in the battle with Xing, these golden lights are merging with the physical body at an accelerated rate. If all this golden light is integrated into the physical body, Lu Yuan's physical strength will definitely increase sharply again. There was fighting in his eyes. Come on, have a good fight today. Pushing his feet on the ground, Lu Yuan rushed straight towards Xing like a cannonball. Between the two of you, you punch me and I kick you. No one wants to retreat. Even if you get punched hard, you still have to kick the opponent. Only, after all, Xing has 4 arms, which gives him a huge advantage in this purely physical competition. Lu Yuan could only resist reluctantly. But Xing didn't notice that after Lu Yuan's body suffered the attack, a faint golden light emerged. This golden light is not as dazzling and majestic as the golden body of Xing. But it contains a hint of ancient flavor. Who? The hand-to-hand combat lasted for an hour. Both of them had reached their limit, so they distanced themselves in a tacit understanding. Xing frowned slightly. Although he could suppress Lu Yuan, he could not defeat him. This young man is indeed terrifying. She actually relied on her strong will to fight him until now. But he also knew it very well. Lu Yuan could hardly hold on any longer. Xing clenched his 4 fists, took a breath, and rushed towards Lu Yuan again. He wanted to take advantage of Lu Yuan's weakness and defeat him in one fell swoop. Lu Yuan took a deep breath. He really couldn't hold on any longer. The magic dragon protective shield around him has completely collapsed. Only the afterimage of the beaten demon dragon remained. But in the fierce physical fight, the golden light had completely integrated into his body. Lu Yuan's slightly closed eyes slowly opened. There was no sharp light or any murderous intent. These eyes are very calm. The shadow of the demon dragon emerged, flying and dancing around Lu Yuan, but the broken demon dragon was no longer pitch black, the scales on its body shone with golden light, and its aura was different. Boom! Looking at the flying golden figure, Lu Yuan moved his hands through the air, blocking Xing's attack easily. Then he knocked Xing away with an understatement and smashed into a mountain peak. Xing crawled out of the rubble with difficulty and looked at his belly. The golden body was broken with one palm, leaving a huge hole. That ordinary palm was actually so terrifying. How is that possible? Xing couldn't believe it. How could your physical strength suddenly become so strong? My little Nirvana golden body has reached the perfection state and has a trace of the power of the golden body state. How can it be repelled by you? Xing really couldn't understand it. His eyes noticed the golden light surging above the magic dragon. This is impossible. Xing's eyes suddenly widened, and he looked towards the ancient monument of Skull Mountain in the distance. This is the power that belongs to the golden realm. You actually integrated the remains of the strong golden body into your own body in the primordial spirit realm. Crazy. Obviously, Lu Yuan's behavior was completely incomprehensible to Xing. Not just Xing. The people around him were even more confused. They were already mourning Lu Yuan, the genius, but who knew that in the blink of an eye, Lu Yuan would turn defeat into victory. What ability did Lu Yuan display? He seems to have controlled the power of golden light. But I have practiced again for more than 10 years and have mastered a trace of the power of golden light, but its power is not as powerful as 1/10,000th of Lu Yuan's. Is it because Lu Yuan absorbed too much golden light? I don't know, but fellow Taoist Lu is good at creating surprises. Indeed, it's just that the surprise is too big. I don't know if the demon monk can bear it. Ha ha, I hope fellow Taoist Lu will extinguish this demonic monk's arrogance. Maybe Lu Yuan can kill this Violet Palace demon monk. Impossible, you also said that he is the Violet Palace realm. Now he is just using body training martial arts to compete with Lu Yuan in physical strength. Even if the physical strength is not as good as Lu Yuan, there are other methods. The gap in realm is irreparable. Primordial spirit monk, being able to save his life in the hands of the strong Violet Palace is already very terrifying. It is impossible to kill the Violet Palace monk by leapfrogging. The loving star sat meditating in the void, waved his hand to disperse the shadow of his golden body, and once again showed his kind-hearted appearance. It seemed that the person whose muscles were knotted and violently hammered just now was not him. The majestic voice echoed in the air. Donor Lu, he was able to defeat the poor monk with his physical strength. He really gave the poor monk too many surprises. So, I want to save you even more. Our Buddhist sect needs a peerless talent like Donor Lu. Immediately, Sixing closed his eyes slightly, clasped his hands together, and the golden relic that had been gently held in his hand slowly flew up into the air. Please Buddha. Lu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. Buddha. To be honest, he didn't feel anything like Buddha. He just sensed a trace of the remnant soul in the relic through the edict of ghosts and gods. Buzz buzz. The huge Sanskrit sound sounded again, and the golden Buddhist inscriptions rotated and danced in the void. Sixing Zen sat in the void with his hands clasped together. A terrifying Buddha light emerged from the relics, and the Buddha light was dozens of feet high. It contains the supreme Dharma, which makes people dare not look directly. If a person with weak willpower catches a glimpse of this Buddha's light, he will immediately become a monk. In the Buddha light, you can occasionally see a huge figure, sitting cross-legged and chanting sutras. It seems to be an ancient Buddha, looking down on all living beings. Master Sixing slowly opened his eyes. Those eyes were dyed golden by the light, and there was no murderous intention, but only endless compassion. The sea of bitterness is boundless, and there is a shore when you turn around. Xing stood with one hand in front of her chest, her voice was both majestic and compassionate. Amitabha. As the Buddha's name came out. Behind Master Sixing, the Buddha's light flourished, and a huge palm composed of golden light stretched out from the Buddha's light. Boom. The wind howls in the palm. The surrounding rocks were blown away, and even ancient trees that were thousands of years old were uprooted. Lu Yuan tapped the ground with his toes and flew into the air. A huge array condensed out, the array rotated, and the space trembled. Lu Yuan formed a seal with his hands. Use all your strength to activate the reverse heavenly demon blade. However, this time the reverse heavenly demon blade is different from the past. The huge blade tip slowly condensed from the formation diagram, and finally, a huge blade measuring over 1,000 meters lay horizontally in midair. The blade seemed to contain endless blood and killing intent. It makes people feel frightened just by looking at it. Cut. A cold voice echoed in the space. The huge blade tore through the void and struck at the Buddha's palm print. Where the two collided, spiritual power raged, the space shattered, and a deafening roar came. The entire sky became gloomy, and the earth trembled violently. Subsequently, the golden palm print shattered and turned into golden energy, dissipating in the air. With a pop sound, Master Sixing spurted out a mouthful of blood, and immediately looked up in disbelief. The young man was condescending, his snow-white clothes were still as new, and even his breath was not disturbed. How can it be? This is Buddha, an invincible ancient Buddha. How could it be possible for you to cut him with one sword? This relic has existed for tens of thousands of years and is a legacy of the founder when Jin Chan Temple was founded. With the secret method, he can summon a wisp of the remnant soul stored in the ancestor, which is extremely powerful. Even the monks from Violet Palace realm cannot easily block the attack of the remnant soul of the ancestor. Since Sixing got this thing, he has never suffered a loss at the hands of anyone. But now, a boy from the primordial spirit realm chopped off his hand with a knife. Amitabha, don't blame the Buddha. Master Sixing clasped his hands together very devoutly, opened his lips and teeth lightly, and recited an unknown scripture. A drop of essence and blood slowly emerged from between the middle fingers and shot into the Buddha's light behind him. Buzz. Bursts of Sanskrit sounds and the sound of chanting scriptures came from the Buddha's light. The voice was sacred and majestic. However, the originally golden Buddha light emitted a trace of blood light, and a pair of tightly closed eyes emerged from the Buddha light. Bloody light brewed in the slits of those tightly closed eyes, and it seemed that once those eyes were opened, something very terrifying would emerge. Kill. Master Sixing no longer had the indifference of an accomplished monk, and there was already murderous intent surging in his eyes. There are too many good things in Lu Yuan. So much that it makes him, a monk from Violet Palace who has lived for more than 2,000 years, feel envious and jealous. Sixing no longer cares about saving the other person, he just wants to kill Lu Yuan and seize all opportunities from him. Faced with such a terrifying killing move, Lu Yuan just stood with one hand behind his back and didn't see any movement, just a thought in his mind. The formation behind him rotated again, terrifying spiritual power condensed, and the thousands-meter-long blade shot out directly, striking into the Buddha's light. Boom! There seemed to be great terror in the Buddha's light, and Lu Yuan's invincible blade was directly defeated. However, this is only the beginning. Before the old bald donkey could continue to use his moves, the new sword had already struck the Buddha's light again. Boom, boom, quote. Boom, one knife after another. This 1,000-meter-long blade seems to be endless without consuming spiritual energy. But still can't break this bright Buddha's light. However, Master Sixing would spurt out a mouthful of blood every time he slashed with the sword. Soon, the land in front of him was stained red with blood. The relics suspended in front of him kept shaking and swaying, as if they would fall to the ground at any time. Sixing's face was pale and his breath was weak. But he still insists on releasing the Buddha's light. Is this really a remnant soul? Lu Yuan looked at the Buddha's light with interest. The most fundamental function of thousand soul sacrifice, Edict of Ghosts and Gods, is to swallow souls. The remaining souls should also be considered souls, right? If one could swallow the remnant soul of this ancient Buddha, the effect would definitely be extraordinary. There was a flash of light in his eyes. The technique is working. Lu Yuan is multitasking. While using his soul to condense a huge blade and chop the Buddha's light, he also casts the Edict of Ghosts and Gods. Thousand Soul Sacrifice Edict of Ghosts and Gods. Swallow souls. Lu Yuan's eyes turned into endless black holes, seemingly becoming a bridge to communicate with the underworld. An area of several thousand meters in radius was instantly covered by a strange aura. A huge ghost claw stretched out from the ground and penetrated into the golden Buddha light. The ghost claw groped back and forth inside, and soon caught the remnant soul hiding in the Buddha light. Sixing took a deep breath, widened his eyes, and looked at Lu Yuan. No, how dare you covet my Buddhist treasure, come back. Master Sixing could not imagine it. Lu Yuan was able to successfully practice the ancient ghost control technique in just a few days. And, it has been used so skillfully. He was able to forcefully swallow the Buddha. Master Sixing was unwilling to take any risks regarding matters related to the Buddha. The golden relic in Sixing's hand emits light, trying to take back the remnant soul hidden in the Buddha's light. But things have developed beyond his imagination. More and more ghost claws penetrated into the Buddha's light, tearing at the remaining soul. Master Sixing's eyes were like copper bells, there were even ferocious veins bulging out on his bald head, and his whole face was red from suppressing it. He has tried his best. But, he could only watch helplessly as a golden remnant soul was dragged out of the Buddha's light, getting farther and farther away from him. Even the relics in his hands had fine cracks. Immediately afterwards, there was a sound of bang. The relics turned into particles of golden gravel, and together with the golden Buddha shadow, they turned into energy and were sucked into Lu Yuan's palm. No, Master Sixing's face was ferocious. The whites of his eyes turned completely blood red, and there were even cracks on his face with blood-colored spiritual power. A terrifying aura emanated from him. Like a peerless demon monk. A ball of golden energy appeared in Lu Yuan's palm. As expected of the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha, the energy is so pure. Although this is just a remnant soul, but it is thousands of times stronger than all the souls swallowed before combined. Maybe, a ghost and spirit can be condensed directly through the Buddha's remnant soul. I just don't know what the ghosts and gods condensed by Buddha will look like. At this time, Master Sixing was already desperate. He roared angrily, and his whole body began to expand again, turning into a giant form more than 3 meters tall. Only this time, his body was no longer surrounded by golden light, but instead was filled with dim black light. Killing, cold, evil. That black light seemed to contain endless negative emotions. The 4 arms behind his back also became ferocious and terrifying, covered with dense veins, as if crawling with flesh worms. Boom, boom, boom. The black Shira demon Buddha rushed over, his huge feet stepped on the ground, the whole earth was shaking, and at the same time, there would be bursts of energy. It caused some distortion in the air. Master Sixing condensed all the spiritual power of Violet Palace Realm, and used a special method to fully activate the Little Nirvana Golden Body technique. It exerted 200% of the combat power of this heaven-level body-refining martial arts. But, now Lu Yuan's body has perfectly integrated a trace of the characteristics of the Golden Body realm. Then cast the Magic Dragon Shield. The changes in strength have already been earth-shaking. Today's Sixing is not enough in front of him. Kill! Master Sixing roared angrily, grabbed the end of the Thousand Jin Zen staff with 4 palms, and smashed it hard. Golden scales appeared all over Lu Yuan's body, and golden light exploded. Punch it out! It hit Sixing's bare head hard. Boom! The figure emitting golden light flew backwards at a faster speed than when it came, and hit the depths of the ground. Lost consciousness. Take advantage of his illness and kill him. Lu Yuan directly held his sword fingers with both hands, and the huge sword formation was launched again. The formation diagram rotated, and the swords were shining heavily. Cut! Thousands of blades were like arrows, streaking through the air with a whistling sound. After a stick of incense, the rainstorm of blades stopped. A huge hole appeared in the ground. In the deepest part of the pit, you can see the miserable figure of Master Sixing. The originally bright red cassock is now like rags hanging on his body. Most of the terrifying spiritual power around him also dissipated. Master Sixing coughed up a mouthful of blood and prepared to stand up. But as soon as he raised his head, he saw the blade storm appearing in the sky again. Shua, shua, the knife shadows were heavy and continuous. Every knife hit Master Sixing's body accurately. A quarter of an hour later. Congratulations to the host, for killing Master Sixing of Jinshan Temple and cultivating Violet Palace first layer. Total lifespan, 6,132 years. Remaining lifespan, 3,200 years. Successfully plundered Shouyuan, 3,200 years. Lu Yuan's eyes flashed with joy. This old bald donkey is still a young man, and he has only lived for more than 2,000 years. More than 3,000 years of life. Even if the entire Wei family was slaughtered before, they would not have so much longevity. In addition, there is also a storage bag with golden light. 3 martial arts. Among them is the one that Lu Yuan is most looking forward to. Heaven-level body training martial arts, Little Nirvana Golden Body. You know, this martial arts is comparable to the system-enhanced Dragon Body Shield. Very powerful. However, there are many people here and it is not suitable for practicing martial arts. Lu Yuan briefly explored the storage bag. He used the Edict of Ghosts and Gods again to arrest Master Sixing's soul. Then he walked towards the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. Now, most of the people who still dared to watch the battle from a distance are masters above the Danbao realm. But they still don't understand this battle. Primordial Spirit Realm counterattacks Violet Palace Realm. The key point is that Violet Palace Realm is still very powerful, that's the monk from Jinshan Temple. And the golden Buddha light he summoned was so overwhelming that it was crushed by Lu Yuan. I think the strongest thing about Senior Lu is his physical body. He should have completely integrated the golden light in the stone tablet into himself, which gave his body a trace of the characteristics of the golden body realm. The slightest characteristic of the golden realm is crushing to the Violet Palace realm. So, the later monks of Jinshan Temple had no power to fight back. Not only that, there is also the terrifying knife array. The kilometer-long blades, one after another, are as if they are free, and the key power is very terrifying. We are both in the primordial spirit realm, why do we feel there is such a big gap? This is the genius, the despairing genius. Alas, I used to always think of myself as the proud man of heaven, but now I see that there are people outside the world, and there is a heaven outside the world. Quote. In the exclamation of everyone. The young man's figure has disappeared deep into the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. Lu Yuan came to an uninhabited area. After making sure it was safe, he took out Old Bald Donkey Heavenly Body Training Martial Arts from his storage bag. This place is already within the forbidden area of Skull Mountain, and there may be new crises at any time. So Lu Yuan didn't waste time, quickly looked through the martial arts, and started injecting Shouyuan directly. Heavenly level. Little Nirvana golden body, not yet started. You have finally acquired another martial arts that you are good at. You don't need to think too much to practice physical training martial arts. You are very comfortable. Heaven level martial arts requires simulation for a long time. Therefore, when the system was conducting simulated training, Lu Yuan was not idle and directly used his martial arts. Thousand soul sacrifice edict of ghosts and gods. Swallow souls, gather souls, and condense ghosts and gods. The golden remnant soul of the Buddha appeared and fiercely swallowed up all the other souls, not even the ghost mist. Every time a soul is swallowed, the remnant soul of the Buddha will increase in size and the light will become more dazzling. However, the pure Buddha light seems to be mixed with a trace of ghost mist, and the aura is full of evil and weirdness. Finally, after swallowing the soul of Master Sixing, the remaining soul of Buddha underwent a qualitative change. The Buddha's light flickers, and the ghost mist rages. A little monk who looked like a porcelain doll walked out from the entanglement of golden light and ghost mist. This little monk is about 5 years old. He has a black and shiny bald head, and his skin is as fair as the most exquisite porcelain. His eyes were closed tightly, his hands were clasped together, and his head was always lowered. The gray monk's robe was wrapped around him. No matter how they look, they are no different from real humans. If Lu Yuan hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he would not have been able to tell anything strange about the young monk as he walked out of the ghost mist. Although the little monk did not open his eyes, he walked straight up to Lu Yuan as if he were walking on flat ground. He clasped his hands together, bowed and said, "Little monk, I have seen Lord Buddha." Skull Mountain Forbidden Area. Ancient trees hundreds of meters high blocked the sky, leaving no light in the entire mountain. Only the howling sounds of ghosts and wolves could be heard from time to time, which was terrifying. Click. There was a crisp sound of bones breaking. A young man took a young monk for a walk in the strange woods. The young man looked calm. The young monk clasped his hands together, lowered his head and closed his eyes, and followed the young man step by step. This strange pair seems completely unaware of the countless dangers hidden in the woods. Suddenly, on the strange branches, there are thousands of pairs of green light spots flashing. A piercing scream came. This hard as iron tree exploded with many cracks. Immediately afterwards, those strange creatures hanging upside down from the branches fell one after another, and suddenly opened their huge wings when they were about to touch the ground. Who? These are actually bats. Ghost-faced bat. This is a legendary ancient creature that has long been extinct in the outside world and can only be seen in the secret realm of Skull Mountain. The ghost-faced bat has devoured countless spiritual objects here, and coupled with the accumulation of strange aura, it is powerful. All are 4th level monsters. Each one possesses the strength of the Danbao realm. Thousands of demonic beasts holding pills, even the martial artist of the primordial spirit realm had to run away for their lives when encountering this situation. But Lu Yuan, however, acted as if he hadn't seen it and was still walking forward slowly. The young monk following behind stopped and recited the Buddha's name in a low voice. Amitabha. Immediately afterwards, he began to recite Buddhist scriptures. Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha. There is no energy fluctuation in the little monk's body. But every time the little mouth opens and a syllable is uttered, a golden text that is the same as the syllable will emerge from the mouth. These verses were arranged in order, passed through the air, and finally stuck on the head of every ghost-faced bat. These 4th level monsters stopped strangely in place after touching the golden Buddhist inscriptions. The pair of huge wings stopped flapping, and thousands of ghost-faced bats fell straight from the air like dumplings. Watching the bats raining down from the sky, Lu Yuan clicked his tongue in surprise. The energy of this little monk is really weird. He is the remnant soul of ancient times. After being refined by the decrees of ghosts and gods, he becomes more powerful and weirder. The newly condensed little monk has only one ability: devour. After he swallows the souls of humans and monsters, he will be able to increase his level, and he will also have the opportunity to obtain some abilities that are consistent with himself. This ability to release scripture attacks is the ability gained after devouring the old bald donkey. In addition, the young monk also has a means of defense. Golden Bell, also obtained from the old bald donkey. Lu Yuan touched the little monk's bald little head. Well done. The little monk raised his head and bent his closed eyes. Later, Lu Yuan extracted the demon spirits of the thousands of ghost-faced bats and threw them to the young monk. The little monk, illuminated by holy light, sat cross-legged on the ground and quickly destroyed these demon spirits one by one. Unfortunately, today's little monk has already held the 9th layer elixir. It is unlikely that he will improve his level by swallowing a ghost-faced bat of this level. The ghosts condensed by the decrees of ghosts and gods have only one shortcoming. It takes a lot of souls to be devoured in order to advance. Lu Yuan walked to the cave where the ghost-faced bat lived, and soon discovered a crystal that emitted gray light. This seems to be the monster core left by a mysterious ghost, which contains very terrifying cold energy. These ghost-faced bats absorb the power of this crystal core here. This thing contains ghost energy and is very suitable for young monks. Throwing it to the young monk, Lu Yuan began to look at the system panel. The simulation of the little Nirvana golden body is finally completed. This simulation consumes and plunders longevity, 1,322 years. Little Nirvana golden body, not yet started, right pointing arrow perfect. Cultivation. Primordial spirit realm 5th layer right pointing arrow 6th layer. Remaining plundered longevity, 5,944 years. A brass-like metallic light flashed across Lu Yuan's body. After casting little Nirvana gold, he directly transformed into a 4-meter-tall golden giant. His whole body exudes a divine aura. Very strong indeed. In terms of defense, the little Nirvana golden body is still not as good as the system-strengthened magic dragon body shield. However, in terms of attack, the two are almost the same. And its huge size gives it an advantage in most battles. Now, Lu Yuan already has 2 kinds of heaven-level body-refining martial arts, as well as the blessing of golden body characteristics. The strength of the physical body has reached an unprecedented level. If we had another fight with that old bald donkey at this time, it would be a shame. Lu Yuan was confident that he could kill the opponent within 1 stick of incense. The little monk also devoured all the ghost-faced bat's demon spirits, and its cultivation level seemed to have broken through to the primordial spirit realm. It is estimated that after eating a few thousand demon spirits, we will be able to break through. Of course, if you eat high-level demon spirits, you may only need to eat 1 or 2 to advance. Taoist shadows, 1 large and 1 small, continued to walk deeper into the Skull Mountain. This entire mountain range is endless and contains countless dangerous places. If the strength is not strong enough, every step will be a life and death crisis. But if the strength is strong enough, then every step is an opportunity. Deep in the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. This place is a strange quagmire thousands of miles away, with a layer of green poisonous mist attached to the quagmire. In the center of the poisonous fog, there is a gorgeous flower, which is emitting colorful light and seems to be waiting for people to come and pick it. The monks who come here will fall into complete madness when they see these colorful flowers. Rush into the poisonous fog. Then, there will be another withered skeleton in the quagmire. Under the corrosion of the poisonous mist, the flesh and blood on the corpse will soon turn into thick water, adding a touch of toxicity to the quagmire. Only the bones are left, randomly discarded in the swamp. The ferocious poisonous snake is wrapped around the white bones, its cold vertical pupils penetrate the poisonous mist, waiting for the prey to come to the door. At this moment, a man and a woman came outside this strange swamp. The 2 of them hid their figures and restrained their aura. Princess Yu, this is the colorful lotus. Chu guards whispered. Mo Yu's eyes looked through the mist at the huge lotus in the middle of the swamp, his eyes a little eager. I didn't expect that there is actually the legendary colorful lotus here. The colorful lotus is a legendary ancient spiritual plant. 1 color is added every 1,000 years. It takes 7,000 years to fully mature. After maturity, it will have the effect of helping people break through the realm. At this moment, the colorful lotus in the middle of the swamp is blooming with dazzling 7-color light, which seems to tell everyone passing by that the colorful lotus is about to mature. Everyone can see that this is a fatal trap. But who can resist such temptation? Now, the master and servant of the royal family could no longer bear it and were ready to take action. Chu guards naturally knew that it was very dangerous. For such a treasure to appear openly in such a conspicuous place would definitely be fatal. But even if there is danger, he will go. This is his duty. Besides, as a monk in the middle stage of the primordial spirit realm, how could he be afraid of this small poisonous pool? Even if there are monsters hiding under the poisonous pool, what will happen? Just kill it. Princess Yu, please wait for me here. I will pick the colorful lotus and wish you a breakthrough. Mo Yu nodded, his beautiful eyebrows knitting together. She had a bad feeling, but no matter how dangerous it was, she would not give up. Mo Yu held his hand and said, Guard Chu, be careful. Guard Chu nodded and left. Whoosh. The gray light and shadow passed a few meters above the poison pond, rushing straight towards the colorful lotus. Chu Hui flew across dozens of kilometers of swamps in an instant and grasped the colorful lotus that everyone coveted. However, then Guard Chu frowned. He couldn't pull it out. How can this be? A dignified monk in the middle stage of the primordial spirit realm can't pull out a blade of grass. Chu Hui didn't believe in evil, so he held the spiritual plant tightly with both hands, and even wrapped his palms with spiritual power, and tried again. But it's still the case. How can it be? Chu Hui couldn't understand at all what was going on. At this very moment, standing outside the swamp, Mo Yu's eyes widened suddenly. She saw. Directly below the colorful lotus, two groups of red lights lit up, like two huge red lanterns, as if there was a giant beast hiding under the swamp. Guard Chu, get out of there quickly. A scream echoed in the swamp. The entire swamp began to surge, and there seemed to be endless giant beasts swimming beneath the swamp. Hold head high. The sound of the dragon's roar resounded throughout the forbidden area, shocking people's hearts. Lu Yuan looked up at the sky, trying to identify the location of the dragon's roar. The Skull Mountain forbidden area is very mysterious. It not only hides many ferocious beasts, but also has layers of restrictions. The strongest restriction among them is the soul restriction. The soul is restricted and compressed, and the detection range is extremely small. The powerful perception that could easily detect hundreds of miles could now barely cover a few kilometers. Moreover, many special areas seem to be invisible barriers, blocking the penetration of the soul. Without the guidance of the soul, any troubles can only be found out by going there in person. This undoubtedly increases countless unknown risks. Suddenly, another dragon roar came, this time the roar seemed to be mixed with anger and pain. Another dragon roar came, only this time, there was a trace of pain in addition to anger. Little monk, let's go. Lu Yuan turned into a dazzling stream of light and rushed towards the direction of the dragon's roar. The young monk followed closely behind, transformed into a bright golden relic, and walked side by side with Lu Yuan. One white and one gold, two streams of light shuttled through the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. A team below was exploring carefully. When they saw two streams of light in the sky, they immediately cursed. Idiot, if you don't know how to be careful, you will be in trouble if you attract monsters. Dare to fly in the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. Isn't this asking for death? On this day next year, the grass on the grave will be as tall as a person. TMD, I didn't expect there to be so many idiots in Skull Mountain. Suddenly, a roar of a wild beast came, and the cursing of several people immediately stopped. Two figures were galloping on the deep, dark lake. The surface of the lake was calm as a mirror. Suddenly, a huge splash exploded on the lake. A dragon that was hundreds of meters long soared into the sky and soared straight into the sky. This dragon's body was covered with purple scales, shining with a strange light, and the horn on its head was like purple crystal, exuding a heart-stopping and terrifying aura. Human monks, how dare you fly over my head? You simply don't know how to live or die. A thick and majestic voice shook the air, making people's eardrums hurt. The fifth-level monster, the phantom poisonous purple dragon. Obviously, this lake is its territory. In the world of monsters, powerful beings often delineate their own territory. In the territory of monsters, there are often rare treasures. Lu Yuan's eyes flashed with excitement. In the legends of human monks, treasures of heaven and earth are often accompanied by powerful monsters. But in fact, when choosing a territory, these monsters will deliberately choose places with abundant spiritual energy and treasures of heaven and earth, so that they can use these treasures to accelerate their own evolution. The domineering behavior of this phantom poisonous purple dragon is like there is no 300 taels of silver in this place. There must be a special treasure here. He rubbed his chin, with a hint of amusement in his eyes, and turned to the young monk aside and said, Little monk, do you think we should accept a mount? The young monk put his hands together and whispered, Amitabha. The pair of tightly closed eyes looked at the phantom poisonous purple dragon, as if judging whether this monster was qualified to become the mount of the Buddha. Bold, the phantom poison purple dragon was furious. These two ignorant humans not only broke into its territory without permission, but also dared to ignore its existence. He even threatened to take it as a mount. This is simply a huge insult to its dignity. When did the phantom poisonous purple dragon suffer such humiliation? It's obviously just a human from the middle stage of the primordial spirit realm, and a human child. Go to hell, the phantom poison purple dragon roared angrily. The body that was hundreds of meters long was entrenched in the air, like a majestic hill. The dragon's breath spurted out and violently attacked Lu Yuan and the young monk. Lu Yuan and the young monk were like ants under its shroud. The purple dragon opened its huge mouth, and a burst of purple breath shot out like a sharp arrow. That breath not only contains powerful impact, but also contains deadly poison. Even the monks in the primordial spirit realm dare not withstand its blow, otherwise they will be poisoned and seriously injured even if they don't die. You weak humans, how dare you act so arrogantly in front of me? A trace of contempt flashed in the eyes of the phantom poison purple dragon. A golden bell-shaped shadow suddenly shot out from the sky and firmly enveloped Lu Yuan and the young monk. Allowing the dragon's breath to wash away, the golden bell was as solid as a mountain and easily blocked the blow. Amitabha. At this time, the little monk who had been ignored by Zhao put his hands together and chanted the Buddha's name softly. It seemed like I had just done an insignificant thing. How can this be? The phantom poison purple dragon's eyes widened and he looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Its attack was actually blocked by this child. Although this little bald head has the strength of the Dan Bao realm at this age, no matter what, it is impossible to block the dragon breath of the 5th level monster. When something goes wrong, there must be a monster. A strong uneasiness surged in the heart of the purple dragon. It was cautious by nature and was immediately ready to dive into the bottom of the lake. It wants to eat the high-level demon spirit in the cave first. After improving your cultivation level, come back to settle the score with these two human monks. However, just when it was about to dive into the bottom of the lake, Lu Yuan's figure suddenly appeared in front of it. He grabbed the purple dragon's dragon tail and swung it up in the air like a huge hemp rope. Rumble, with a loud noise, the huge body of the phantom poison purple dragon was slammed into the woods by the lake. Its 100-meter-long body made a huge hole in the ground, and then it slid for dozens of meters, crushing hundreds of trees. Zhao immediately gave up. Human, I admit defeat, I am willing to be your mount. However, in the face of Zhao's begging for mercy, Lu Yuan just uttered 4 words coldly, you are too weak. The sharp blade shot out from Lu Yuan's body, spinning in an arc in the air, and struck hard on the head of the phantom poisonous purple dragon. Lu Yuan skillfully executed the edicts of ghosts and gods, pulled out the demon spirit of the purple dragon from the corpse, and then threw it to the young monk. For monsters above the primordial spirit realm, the monster spirit is the condensation of their soul and cultivation, shaped like a ball. In the hands of the little monk, the evil spirit of the phantom poisonous purple dragon kept struggling, trying to escape, but couldn't. Then, it saw the little monk with a holy aura all over his body slowly opening his mouth wide. Swallowed its demon spirit alive. After devouring the soul of the phantom poisonous purple dragon, the Buddha's light on the young monk's body became more and more dazzling. It was as if some mysterious power was quietly awakening within him. Lu Yuan watched this scene with interest. He could sense through his skills that the young monk's cultivation was already at the critical point of the primordial spirit realm. Not only that, with the fusion of the purple dragon soul, the little monk also has a bit of dragon aura in his body, which seems to indicate that he will gain new power. Ability related to the dragon clan. Lu Yuan thought to himself. If you want to fully activate this ability, you need more demon spirits with dragon blood, preferably those with pure blood. The dragon blood in this phantom poison purple dragon is too weak. Subsequently, the two jumped directly into the lake, looking for the cave of the phantom poisonous purple dragon. As expected, all dragon creatures have a collecting habit. Deep in the cave, they found countless treasures. Although these gold and silver jewelry and crystal products were extremely valuable, they were not what Lu Yuan wanted. The two of them went all the way to the deepest part of the cave. They found a sleeping dragon demon spirit, which was at least level 7. It's just that the phantom poison purple dragon has absorbed most of the energy, and there is almost no energy left, but Lu Yuan still threw it to the young monk. The little monk devoured it without hesitation and burped with satisfaction. Finally, Lu Yuan began to study the treasures in the storage bag. Due to the age, the elixirs in the storage bag have lost their spiritual nourishment for a long time and have turned into ashes. But the martial arts secrets in it are relatively intact. Heavenly level body refining martial arts, 10,000 Dragons Pilgrimage. In addition to these 2 books, there are 4 books on Zon level body refining martial arts. What an unexpected surprise. Lu Yuan immediately started to simulate. You begin to practice 10,000 Dragons Pilgrimage. This martial art uses the essence and blood of the dragon clan to condense your own body. It consumes a large amount of dragon blood, which can speed up the progress of practice and increase the intensity of the technique. Lu Yuan stretched out his palm, drew out the essence and blood from the phantom poisonous purple dragon body, swallowed it in his mouth and continued to simulate. In the 28th year, with the assistance of the purple dragon essence and blood, you finally cultivated one long pilgrimage to the entry level. In the 59th year, without the dragon essence and blood, your cultivation progress has been slow. You know that to master this method, you need a large amount of dragon essence and blood, rather than just sitting and practicing. Lu Yuan stopped practicing and looked into the distance. Dragon clan essence and blood. It just so happens that the little monk also seems to need dragon demon spirits to condense divine ability. Then continue to look for the dragon roar from before. At the same time, hundreds of miles ahead of Lu Yuan, in the boundless swamp of poisonous mist, thousands of demon pythons and dragons rushed out from the depths of the mire. These monsters have powerful auras, are full of poison, and are numerous in number. As a result, the human monks who were hunting for treasure in the quagmire area were unable to resist and could only flee crazily. Guard Chu's face turned pale, and one of his arms collapsed. Princess Yu. I'll break through the dragon later, you can take advantage of the chaos and escape. Dragons and snakes are dancing here, and the crisis may spread to the entire periphery of the forbidden area. You must leave the Skull Mountain forbidden area immediately. Princess Yu can go to the ancient city of the forbidden area to seek shelter. Let's go together. Although Mo Yu was very scared, but the teachings she experienced since childhood told her that she must analyze calmly in order to survive. She knew that with her strength in the Dan Bao realm, it would be difficult for her to return alive if she were alone in the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. So she must improve her strength. Mo Yu turned around and looked at the colorful lotus tree still standing in the middle of the quagmire. A look of determination flashed across her delicate face. The old dragon is waiting for the colorful lotus to fully mature before swallowing it and advancing. So, this Pauline is the key to our survival. You hold the old dragon while I capture Baolian. After I break through, we can leave. Chapter 51. Mo Yu doesn't have much experience in survival in the wild. At this time of life and death, you still want to seize the treasure. This is a dead end. But the guards of Chu could only obey orders. Although the number of dragon beasts in the swamp is rare. But in this swamp with no shelter, the two of them couldn't hide their figures at all, and they were quickly discovered. Dozens of pythons surrounded them. Although these pythons were all 4th level monsters, there were too many of them, and just the aura they gave off made the two of them feel desperate. Princess Yu, be careful. Guard Chu said seriously. He was seriously injured now. If he faced 1 or 2 level 4 monsters alone, he might still be able to fight. But facing dozens of them, I'm afraid I'm going to be in a rage today. Mo Yu's face was gloomy. She had always thought of herself as a genius, but she didn't expect that she would suffer blows one after another after arriving at Skull Mountain. Now, he is going to die here. She suddenly remembered that young man with terrifying strength. If he were here too, maybe. But Mo Yu quickly shook his head and drove this thought out of his mind. Even though the young man had amazing talent, facing this terrifying old dragon, he could only run for his life. The guards of Chu were already fighting with the pythons. Mo Yu, on the other hand, was dodging and moving around in the siege of the dragon python, trying to break out of the encirclement. Right now, 2 figures, 1 white and 1 gold, cut through the sky and flashed at the edge of the quagmire. Lu Yuan stood in the sky, his eyes like torches, looking down at the quagmire below. When he saw those monster pythons and giant dragons, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Kill the dragon, draw blood, and swallow souls. Lu Yuan's voice was indifferent, without any emotion. The young monk lowered his head and recited the Buddha's name. Amitabha. One white and one gold, the two turned into flowing light again, and rushed into the surrounding dragon beasts respectively, like two sharp swords, piercing the enemy's heart. Kill. Lu Yuan's voice was like thunder, shaking the heaven and earth. His palms slowly stretched out. Thousands of blades emerged, spinning and converging in the air, forming a huge circular array, like a bright sun. The white palms waved gently. Those millions of blades immediately turned into a torrent of steel, pushing all the monsters aside. The fourth-level demon python was directly cut into several sections by the blade. Only fifth-level dragons can barely resist. The blade slashed on the dragon's scales, making a crisp sound like metal swords clashing, and fireworks flying everywhere. But there are too many blades. However, there were too many blades, and soon, these fifth-level dragons were minced into pulp. The young monk also relied on Buddhist inscriptions to kill several powerful fourth-level demon pythons. Lu Yuan waved his hand. Lu Yuan waved his hand, and the demonic spirit of the monster flew into the little monk's hand like an attracted moth. The essence and blood are also collected in a small bottle. The little monk looked at the quagmire stained red with blood, and a complex emotion surged in his heart. He clasped his hands together, lowered his head and recited the Buddha's name. Sin, sin, sin. The corners of Lu Yuan's lips raised slightly. All living beings are suffering, we want them to stay away from pain and be born in bliss early. The young monk was stunned for a moment, then nodded slowly, as if he had understood something, and said softly, "Thank you Lord Buddha for your enlightenment." Then, he raised his little hand covered with blood and swallowed a demon spirit into his mouth. After swallowing several demon spirits one after another, a golden light flashed on the little monk's body. His breath suddenly improved a lot. Primordial spirit realm. At the same time, a shadow of a five-clawed golden dragon appeared behind him, flying and circling in the air like a real creature, and finally penetrated the young monk's body from behind. Promoted. Lu Yuan raised his eyebrows slightly, with a hint of surprise in his eyes. Have you realized any new abilities? Hearing this, the young monk tilted his head and thought for a moment, then took off the blood-stained monk's robe on his upper body, revealing his fair and tender body. A tattoo of a five-clawed golden dragon appears on his back. Dragon pattern all over the back. Good guy, but I still don't know what abilities this golden dragon has. The little monk was created by Lu Yuan and was part of his practice. Therefore, he could clearly sense that there was a new ability brewing in this little monk's body. However, it seems that it has not been completely successful. It seems that more dragon demon spirits are needed to sacrifice. When the little monk devoured the demon spirit, Lu Yuan also performed a simulation using the collected blood essence. Absorbing a large amount of dragon essence and blood, although the essence and blood is not pure enough, your cultivation speed will still be greatly increased. Closing square bracket. In the 120th year, the faint shadow of dragon scales appears on your body, and your understanding of the 10,000 dragons pilgrimage further deepens. Closing square bracket. Year 492. By operating the technique, your whole body is as if you were wearing dragon scale armor, and your defense is greatly increased. The Wanlong pilgrimage reaches the realm of great accomplishment. Closing square bracket. In the 580th year, the dragon beast's essence and blood were once again consumed, and you stopped the simulation. Closing square bracket. This simulation consumes and plunders lifespan, 580 years. Closing square bracket. Wanlong pilgrimage, basic accomplishment, right pointing arrow, great accomplishment. ... Still need to kill more dragon beasts. Moreover, there seems to be some incredible treasure here. Lu Yuan looked through the poisonous fog and towards the center of the swamp. Although the soul is suppressed, it is impossible to detect what is there. He could still feel the strong aroma. Even smelling it from a distance was enough to make the spiritual power in his body boil and make him restless. He could still feel a very strong fragrance there. Just after taking a whiff of the fragrance, Lu Yuan felt a little restless in the spiritual power in his body. It must be some kind of spiritual plant. It is about to mature. The strange fragrance it emits is of such a high level that it is probably rare in the world. Under this swamp, Lu Yuan could still sense a powerful aura lurking. It was as if a giant beast was peeping in the dark, waiting for the moment when the spiritual plant matured. Let's go to the center of the swamp. The words fell. The two of them once again turned into emotionless killing machines and rushed toward the center of the swamp. Wherever they went, whether it was a 4th-level demon python or a 5th-level dragon, they were easily destroyed like fragile toys. In this feast of killing, their aura not only did not weaken at all, but instead continued to strengthen. Like two sharp swords that are constantly sharpened, their edge becomes more and more powerful. Lu Yuan could clearly feel that his body was becoming stronger and stronger under the nourishment of a large amount of dragon beast essence and blood. It was as if a real dragon was awakening in his body, and a faint dragon power emanated from his body, making the surrounding air tighten. And the little monk, after devouring a large number of dragon spirits, a shadow of a 5-clawed golden dragon appeared around his body. The dragon shadow was hovering and flying in the air, as if it might condense into substance at any time. The shadow of the 5-clawed golden dragon became more and more solid, and the power it exuded became more powerful. It seems that the next moment, this 5-clawed golden dragon will be resurrected and kill all the creatures around it. The surrounding dragons and beasts were afraid and turned into birds and beasts and scattered. No. Central location in the swamp. Princess Mo Yu no longer has the nobility and pride of the past. Her clothes were in tatters and could not hide her fair but muddy skin. Guard Chu was seriously injured and his breath was weak. Mo Yu's spiritual power had been completely exhausted, and she felt that her body was being slowly swallowed by this land of death. Right now, a sacred and solemn dragon roar cut through the sky, shocking the hearts of the people. She opened her eyes and saw an incredible sight. A 1,000-meter-long 5-clawed golden dragon shuttled down from the clouds, its body shining with dazzling golden light in the sun, like the arrival of a god. Princess Mo Yu was stunned, and a complex emotion surged in her heart. She smiled self-deprecatingly, with a bitter look on her lips. Are you all hallucinating? The sky was like ink, dark clouds were pressing overhead, and the whole world was shrouded in an invisible haze. In this depressing atmosphere, a bright golden light and shadow cut through the dull sky like an arrow at dawn. It was a 5-clawed golden dragon with a body length of 1 kilometer. The scales on its body exude golden light, and each one is like a finely carved jade work of art. The body of the golden dragon shadow flew from a distance, and its shape became clearer and clearer. The powerful pressure that belonged to the pure-blood dragon clan made people involuntarily have the urge to kneel down and worship. Even more shocking. What was even more shocking was that there was a human figure standing on top of the dragon's head. He has a slender figure and a strong body. His long black hair is dancing wildly in the strong wind. His snow-white clothes look particularly bright against the golden light. The young man stood with his hands behind his hands, his eyes indifferent, as if nothing in the world could enter his eyes. The people below all stopped what they were doing. Their faces were all filled with shock, and their eyes were full of disbelief. The dragon beasts were even more unbearable. Under the pressure of Long Way, the 4th-level demon pythons dived into the depths of the swamp to avoid the existence that made their souls tremble. Only dragons of level 5 or above can barely resist. Master Lu, please help me. A glimmer of hope appeared in Mo Yu's eyes. Lu Yuan was condescending and said calmly, "Save you. What good can I do?" Mo Yu's face instantly turned extremely pale. Yes, she forgot. This Mr. Lu is not a kind person. Chu Hui spit out a mouthful of blood, got up from the ground, and stood in front of Mo Yu with his hunched body. Princess Yu is a direct descendant of the sovereign clan of the Lingwu Kingdom. As a member of the Lingwu Kingdom, you should naturally serve the royal family. Chu guards knew that he could no longer protect Princess Yu. Now he can only use this method to ask others to help Princess Yu with the majesty of the sovereign clan. Lu Yuan showed a kind smile, and the dragon under his feet slowly fell. Lu Yuan squatted on the dragon's head, overlooking the two people below. Guard Chu breathed a sigh of relief. Mo Yu also had a smile on her face. She didn't expect that Mr. Lu was not as cold as he had shown before, but was actually warm-hearted. But the next moment, Lu Yuan's big hand suddenly locked Chu Hui's throat. His voice was cold and ruthless. Sovereign clan, princess, What does it have to do with me? Feeling the bone-chilling coldness, Chu Hui's heart thumped and he secretly thought, it's broken. He realized his mistake, but it was too late. Then there was just a click sound. Chu Hui's neck softened, and his widened eyes gradually lost their luster. Congratulations to the host, for killing the royal guard of Lingwu Kingdom, and reaching the middle stage of primordial spirit realm. Total lifespan, 1800 years. Closing square bracket. Remaining lifespan, 945 years. Closing square bracket. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 945 years. Closing square bracket. Lu Yuan threw the corpse in his hand on the swamp-like discarded grass, then pulled out its soul and threw it to the young monk. Amitabha. The young monk clasped his hands together and bowed. Then he opened his mouth and ate bit by bit the soul that still had the face of Guard Chu. Princess Mo Yu collapsed on the ground, tears welling up in her eyes, and her body was trembling in fear. These two were terrifying. Princess Mo Yu's heart was filled with despair. She knew that she must save her life first and then seek revenge. Mr. Liu, if my guard dares to provoke you, he will die, which is the retribution he deserves. Mo Yu's voice trembled, but he tried to stay calm. But Mo Yu has no intention of threatening young master. After saying that, Mo Yu wiped the tears from his face, and an unnatural smile appeared on his pale face. I only hope that the young master will take pity on me and save my life. I will give everything. After finishing his words, Mo Yu handed over the storage bag directly, showing his sincerity. Lu Yuan naturally took it unceremoniously. But before he had time to check it, he was attracted by the glow of the colorful lotus. What a baby! No wonder so many people and dragon beasts are fighting here. He suddenly pulled Princess Mo Yu and threw her to the outskirts of the swamp like a dead leaf to ensure her safety. After all, I have received benefits from others. At least take action here to save the life of the princess. Lu Yuan stepped on the swamp, and golden energy swept across. Get out and die. A cold voice echoed on the swamp. The giant beast hiding under the swamp seemed to have heard such provocative words. The entire swamp began to boil, and then the surrounding swamps hundreds of meters began to collapse, as if something was about to break out of the ground. Then, the ferocious fang spikes emerged, tearing the surface of the swamp, revealing a huge mouth. This turned out to be a giant beast lurking in the depths of the swamp. It opened its mouth hundreds of meters wide and bit into the head of the five-clawed golden dragon, as if it wanted to swallow Lu Yuan in one bite. The golden dragon transformed by the little monk hovered in the air and nimbly avoided being swallowed by the Teoti's huge mouth. Then, the ferocious and twisted old dragon revealed its true face. But from the appearance, it doesn't look like a dragon, but more like a fat catfish. The purple poisonous gas lingered around him, making people afraid to come close. Its appearance made everyone in the swamp feel frightened and fled outside. Damn humans. The sound of the fat catfish is like thunder, deafening. With the pronunciation of each word, there are even ripples visible to the naked eye spreading in the air, making people feel terrifying oppression. The five-clawed golden dragon did not show weakness and let out a deafening scream that resounded through the sky. Hold head high. With a thought in Lu Yuan's mind, the five-clawed golden dragon rushed out and fought with the fat catfish. The sharp golden dragon claws tore through the void and landed hard on the belly of the fat catfish, immediately flowing out a large amount of purple blood. The blood dripped on the swamp and made a corrosive sound of chi-chi. Even the claws of the five-clawed golden dragon were a bit dim. Even the blood is filled with such terrifying poison. Lu Yuan stepped into the void and observed the battle from a high position. He was not prepared to intervene, but wanted to take this opportunity to observe the combat effectiveness of the five-clawed golden dragon transformed by the little monk. During the battle, the five-clawed golden dragon has always been firmly in the driver's seat, and its sharp claws left a lot of bloody wounds on the fat catfish. However, the vitality of this fat catfish is very tenacious. After enduring so many attacks, he showed no sign of fatigue. Instead, he was completely angered. Roar, roar. The round body of the fat catfish kept rolling over the swamp, but it was unable to attack the agile five-clawed golden dragon. Those attacks that are contaminated with poison will have no use. What caused the most damage to the five-clawed golden dragon was the poison contained in the blood. Just when fat catfish was furious, The five-clawed golden dragon hovered in midair, with the Buddha's light in its eyes. A dazzling golden light fell from the sky and hit the fat catfish hard. This is actually a huge golden bell. The whole body of the golden bell is full of brilliance, and it is also engraved with dense Buddhist inscriptions. The fat catfish is enveloped by the golden bell and trapped inside, unable to escape. Boom, boom, boom. The tail of the five-clawed golden dragon kept slapping on the golden bell. Every time it is struck, the golden bell will emit a deep and long echo, accompanied by golden ripples reverberating within the golden bell. Fat Catfish felt dizzy under the continuous bombardment of sound waves, and his eardrums were torn. It tried to resist, but as soon as the monstrous power was condensed, it was so dizzy that it could not continue. In the end, Kakong was knocked unconscious with bloodshed. The Buddhist golden bell dissipates. The Buddhist golden bell dissipated, and a red light flashed on the body of the fat catfish. Then there was a boom. It exploded. The poisonous fog spreads. Lu Yuan and the five-clawed golden dragon were instantly enveloped. This damn fat catfish, when he was about to die, actually exploded the dragon ball. A destructive force burst out from Fat Catfish's body, and the terrifying poisonous gas spread like a black torrent for dozens of miles in an instant. Lu Yuan and the five-clawed golden dragon were all deeply buried by the terrifying poisonous mist. The monks on the swamp witnessed the entire battle, their faces filled with shock and disbelief. What a powerful young man, and that five-clawed golden dragon. Just that momentum almost made me kneel down. A gray-haired old monk had a trace of awe in his eyes. It's a pity that he was killed by this old fat dragon. Another monk shook his head and sighed. Such a talented person fell into this swamp like this. Under the corrosion of the poisonous mist, I am afraid that even the body will not be found. What a pity. The swamp filled with poisonous mist seemed to have become a dead zone, and all life seemed so fragile in the face of this power. The people on the swamp also stayed away from this area, for fear of being contaminated by this terrifying poison. But there are also people who are still blinded by greed. Mo Yu looked at the colorful lotus and his breathing became a little short. In the poisonous fog, Lu Yuan's expression remained as usual. With the blessing of two kinds of heaven-level body refining martial arts and golden light, his body is very powerful. This level of poisonous gas cannot cause any real harm to him. However, Fat Catfish's sudden self-destruction made him so embarrassed for the first time. The clothes are torn. The young monk was protected by Buddha's light and was not harmed. At this moment, the demon spirit has begun to eat the fat catfish. Later, Lu Yuan began to absorb the essence and blood of the dragon clan and practice the 10,000 Dragons pilgrimage technique. Although this fat catfish does not appear to have any dragon characteristics, in fact, the dragon blood flowing in its body is very strong. In Lu Yuan's palm, drops of essence and blood shone like gems. He condensed these essences and blood one by one, eventually forming more than 20 drops of bright essence. Inject Shouyuan into martial arts and start the simulation. After taking the dragon essence and blood, you continue to practice the heaven-level body-refining martial arts 10,000 Dragons pilgrimage. Closing square bracket. In the 130th year, due to the extremely high concentration of dragon essence and blood this time, your cultivation speed has been greatly increased, and you seem to be able to feel a powerful force awakening in your body. Closing square bracket. After 500 years of practice, a layer of dragon scales has grown on your body, and you feel very uncomfortable. But your cultivation level breaks through and enters the primordial spirit's 7th layer. In the swampland, after a short period of silence, a melee broke out again. The dark clouds in the sky are like a huge black curtain, shrouding this land in a depressing atmosphere. The keen dragon beasts sensed the aura hidden in the poisonous mist, became stronger and stronger, and fled here one after another. The human monks started fighting each other. Shocking shouts of killing came one after another, and everyone was red-eyed. They had only one target. Colorful lotus. This is a supreme treasure that can help people break through realms and improve their cultivation. The colorful lotus belongs to me, I will give it to you. A woman held a spear and swept over. The spear instantly cut off a monk's legs. The monk's painful wails echoed over the swamp, making people feel heart-stopping. However, when the woman was about to take the last stab, a strong man rushed forward and punched her in the abdomen. A ferocious smile appeared on the strong man's face. Why is it yours? It was obviously your grandfather and I who got it first. Die. At this moment, a thin shadow with a hidden figure approached quietly. The dagger in his hand was like a poisonous snake, stabbing the strong man in the back of the heart. The monk didn't even have time to react before he fell into a pool of blood. Mo Yu's figure appeared from the darkness. She looked at the colorful lotus, her eyes shining with greed. The mantis stalks the cicada, followed by the oriole. Things like this happen all over the swamp. The monks fight each other for the colorful lotus, but they don't know that there are more dangerous enemies peeping behind the scenes. At this moment, in the poisonous mist in the distance that has been forgotten by everyone, two Taoist figures sit cross-legged. A reminder flashed through my mind. Consumption and plundering longevity. 830 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. Great accomplishment, right pointing arrow, perfection. Cultivation. Primordial spirit realm, 6th layer, right pointing arrow, 7th layer. Closing square bracket. The remaining plundered longevity. 6,059 years. Closing square bracket. Dragon shadows rose up around Lu Yuan like phantoms, accompanied by the thunderous roar of the dragon. The sound surged straight into the sky. These dragon shadows are either hovering, flying, or roaring, and each one exudes the ancient and powerful dragon aura. Lu Yuan's body seemed to contain infinite power. Every breath he took seemed to be devouring the spiritual energy around him, and every breath in and out strengthened his physical body. This is already the 3rd heaven-level body refining martial arts he has practiced. 3 martial arts books are superimposed, plus golden light body protection. His body has reached an incredible level of strength. Within the Violet Palace realm, no one can break his physical defense. At this time, a bold idea suddenly appeared in Lu Yuan's mind. If he can obtain 2 more heaven-level body refining martial arts, can he fuse them again through the system? Super heavenly martial arts. Does this level that only exists in legends really exist? At the same time, the shadow of the 5-clawed golden dragon also appeared on the little monk's body, and his aura continued to rise. It has climbed from primordial spirit realm 1st layer to primordial spirit realm late stage. The Buddha's light around him was dazzling, like a bright tomorrow, making people afraid to look directly at him. The two stood up and slowly walked out of the poisonous fog. Lu Yuan looked at the empty storage bag in his hand, with strong murderous intent flashing in his eyes. The storage bag that Mo Yu used to exchange for his life was actually empty. Since coming to this world, this was the first time someone dared to play tricks on him so blatantly. Okay, if you want to die, then come. This time, Lu Yuan was really angry. Kill, leave no one behind. The night sky was covered with dark clouds, as if the whole world was shrouded in a thick shadow. In this depressing atmosphere, the young monk's face revealed a strange solemnity. He felt the anger of Lord Buddha. Roar! His figure suddenly expanded and turned into a huge golden dragon. The dragon's roar shook the sky and echoed in every corner. Subsequently, a huge golden bell condensed into shape, fell from the sky, and enveloped all the monks caught in the melee. Then, the 5-clawed golden dragon turned into golden light and shadow and attached to the golden bell. Reinforce the Admiralty again. The light of the golden bell illuminated the night sky, and the Buddha's light was like a warm spring breeze, driving away evil thoughts in people's hearts and giving them a clear state of mind. Under the illumination of Buddha's light, the originally bloody battlefield became peaceful. The monks stopped killing and began to repent of their actions. What's going on? Why was I blinded by greed just now? A monk's face was full of regret, and his words were full of confusion and self-blame. Yeah, I'm still preparing to leave here. Some people were distraught. I actually killed my eldest brother with my own hands. How should I explain to my sister-in-law now? Wife, you died so miserably. For a time, the sounds of weeping and confession came one after another, filling the entire golden bell. The golden Buddha's light dissipated the greed in everyone's hearts, and also isolated the confusing atmosphere emitted by the colorful lotus. However, over time, the monks trapped in the golden bell soon discovered something strange. Although this golden bell protected them, it also trapped them here, unable to escape. Some people tried to chop the golden bell with a sword, but found that it was of no avail. Ordinary attacks cannot leave a scratch on this golden bell. On the other hand, an attack that is too powerful will trigger a shock and stun them. For a time, everyone was in trouble. At this time, a steady pace sounded in the golden bell. Lu Yuan slowly stepped into the space shrouded in Buddha's light. Senior, are you not dead? Thank you, Senior, for your life-saving grace. It's great that Senior was not injured. Thank you, Senior, for saving your life. Everyone bowed their heads to express their respect for Lu Yuan. However, amid the sounds of gratitude, Lu Yuan pulled out the long and narrow zanpakuto, the blade glowing with a faint cold light in the night. Aha! A monk who was bowing to thank Lu Yuan suddenly dropped his head to the ground, blood spurted out, and his life ended in an instant. Congratulations to the host, killed Independent Cultivator 1, early stage of cultivation. Total lifespan, 780 years. Closing square bracket. Remaining lifespan, 321 years. Closing square bracket. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 321 years. Closing square bracket. ... The system prompt sounded in Lu Yuan's ears. There was a heart-stopping aura about him. The blood spattered on his fair face formed a sharp contrast with the slightly raised corners of his mouth, making him look even more evil and dangerous. The other monks who were walking towards here were stunned for a moment, and then fled away in fear. But they can't escape. Under the baptism of Buddha's light, the memories of these monks were purified, and they forgot that they had robbed Lu Yuan's loot. I just remember their respect and gratitude to this senior. So, they don't understand. Why do seniors kill people? A monk asked in a trembling voice, his eyes full of confusion and fear. They asked themselves that they had never offended Lu Yuan, and they didn't understand why he suddenly killed them. Senior, isn't this the demon Dao style? Lu Yuan didn't care what they said. As long as you catch up with someone, draw your sword and kill him. Every time the sword flashed, a life was harvested. He did not display any gorgeous martial arts, but relied on the strength of his body to slaughter everyone. In this one-sided massacre, there are still people who are taking chances and greedily rush in the direction of the colorful lotus. Mo Yu held the rhizome of the colorful lotus and his eyes burst with joy. Aha! However, her joy instantly turned to fear. A black shadow flashed across her sight, and then a bloodstain appeared on her forearm. Then, half of the arm suddenly slipped to the ground, blood spraying out. Her delicate face instantly turned pale. Ah! The miserable screams echoed throughout the entire golden bell. I was kind enough to save you, why did you lie to me? Lu Yuan's voice was as cold as ice. The long and narrow black blade has been dyed red with blood. When placed on Mo Yu's white neck, the contrast is very obvious. I'm sorry, she knelt on the ground and begged Lu Yuan for forgiveness, it's all my fault. I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. However, there was no mercy in Lu Yuan's eyes, and the zanpakuto pierced her mouth without hesitation and passed out from the back of her head. Puff! Just like cutting tofu, cut the whole person into two. Congratulations to the host, you killed Mo Yu, a member of the royal family of Lingwu Kingdom, and reached the peak of Danbao realm. Total lifespan, 830 years. Closing square bracket. Remaining lifespan, 813 years. Closing square bracket. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 813 years. Closing square bracket. ... Thousands of miles away, in a magnificent palace. A strong figure suddenly opened his eyes and took out a jade pendant from his storage bag. Cracks slowly appeared on the flawless jade pendant, and then it shattered into pieces. The golden eyes were instantly filled with anger. Who? The man's voice was full of anger and grief. How dare you kill my direct descendant of the royal family of Lingwu Kingdom? 9 Shadow Demon Sect, Lady Cave Mansion. On the bed of 10,000 years of cold jade, white cold air rose, but an exaggerated body curve could be vaguely seen. Shangguan Qing waved his hand gently. The oval-shaped jade talisman on the table flew over and hovered in midair. This jade tablet is engraved with a high-grade musical instrument. It can transmit sound thousands of miles, but it is very expensive. Therefore, even the 9 Shadow Demon Sect Queen will only use the sound transmission jade talisman on very important matters. Nowadays, what Shangguan Qing pays most attention to is naturally Lu Yuan. She ordered people to go to the Forbidden City to keep an eye on the news about the Skull Mountain Forbidden Area. Once there was news about Lu Yuan, she would be informed. But the 9 Shadow Demon sect is too far away from the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. Even if there is a jade talisman to transmit the message, it will take several days to receive the message. While Shangguan Qing was waiting eagerly, news finally came back today. The jade talisman flashed with light, and then a girl's confused voice came out. A few days ago, Lu Yuan killed Wei Ming, a true disciple of Heihuan Peak, and a primordial spirit realm master in front of the Skull Mountain stone monument. Shangguan Qing nodded. Lu Yuan was beside her when he broke through the primordial spirit realm. That kid is powerful and has endless trump cards. He can kill primordial spirit realm monks, but it is reasonable. Jade talisman. That night, Lu Yuan was practicing in front of the stone monument on Skull Mountain, and accidentally absorbed all the golden conception of the ancient monument. What? Shangguan Qing was in disbelief. Before her soul was damaged, she also broke into the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. At that time, she, Shangguan Qing, was also a genius with unparalleled talents, but she wasted half a year there before integrating a ray of golden light into her body. Now, this Lu Yuan actually absorbed all the artistic conception of the golden body in a few hours. This made Shangguan Qing eager to know what happened next. She kept an eye on the jade talisman, waiting for further information. Jade talisman. Just when Lu Yuan was about to leave. What? Shangguan Qing slapped her palm on the bed and sat up. He met someone from Jinshan Temple. There was anger in her eyes. She had also been in contact with the monks of Jinshan Temple back then. In other words, most of the geniuses have dealt with the monks of Jinshan Temple. With the talent Lu Yuan has shown, Jinshan Temple will not let him go easily. Wouldn't that be? How is the boy? Did he escape? Concern leads to chaos. Shangguan Qing didn't know why, but she lost her usual calmness. But she also knew Lu Yuan's strength. Even with his terrifying sword skills, he would not fall easily. It's very troublesome just to be stuck to the dog skin plaster of Jinshan Temple. Lu Yuan's physical body was completely integrated with the golden light artistic conception, mastered a trace of the characteristics of the golden body realm, and defeated the Violet Palace realm demon monk. Oh my god, this kid is really a monster. The son of Godfiend, the young supreme. Shangguan Qing murmured to herself. There are legends in ancient books that there are people with extraordinary talents who are born to be the supreme in the world. Lu Yuan, that's true. The image of the young man standing with his hands behind his back flashed in Shangguan Qing's mind, using one person's strength to suppress the back of the entire 9 Shadow Demon sect. But after the surprise, Shangguan Qing felt worried again. Lu Yuan, you must find Xiaoshui. Besides, you have to hurry up, Xiaoshui's breath is getting weaker and weaker. Shangguan Qing looked at the soul lamp guarded by the formation on the bedside. The soul lamp is connected to Zhang Mushui's life breath. As long as the person is alive, the soul lamp will not go out. Therefore, this soul lamp can also tell the owner's status. Now there is only a small flame left in Zhang Mushui's soul lamp, which is looming and seems to be extinguished at any time. Zhang Mushui is already on the verge of death. Skull Mountain Forbidden Area. In the ruins of an ancient powerful cave mansion. The colorful lotus that made countless people crazy was thrown to the ground, and the dazzling light illuminated the entire cave mansion. Lu Yuan sat cross-legged on a jade futon. Kill prompts came one after another. Congratulations to the host, for killing the true disciple of Fenxiang Valley and cultivating the elixir 7th layer. Congratulations to the host, for killing the elder of the beast control sect and cultivating the primordial spirit 1st layer. Congratulations to the host, for killing the supreme elder of Qingyan sect, and reaching primordial spirit level 3. In the poisonous fog swamp, Lu Yuan himself didn't even know how many people he had killed. In short, no one who dared to snatch his trophies was left behind. Even the dragon beasts hiding underground were almost slaughtered. This massacre was not only enjoyable, but the harvest was also huge. Open the system panel. Host. Lu Yuan. Realm. Primordial Spirit 7th Layer. Martial Arts. Xuanji. Earth Level. Immortal Soul Seed. And Dragon Playing with Pearls. Heaven Level. Demon Dragon Body Shield strengthened. Heaven Defying Broken Blade strengthened. Thousand Soul Sacrifice Edict of Ghosts and Gods strengthened. Little Nirvana Golden Body, 10,000 Dragons Pilgrimage. Remaining lifespan, 1,751 years. Remaining plunder longevity, 13,059 years. Closing square bracket. ... After a massacre in the poisonous swamp, his lifespan of plundering exceeded 10,000 years for the first time. In addition, he also gained many martial arts skills. Although most of them are Zon level or Huang level martial arts, there are also a few good Earth level martial arts books. It can be used to synthesize Heaven level martial arts, and at the same time upgrade your cultivation level to the peak of the primordial spirit realm. Now I have enough longevity, and there are treasures like Colorful Lotus to help me. Lu Yuan is confident that he can break through to the Violet Palace realm. He is a decisive person. He simply flipped through a few martial arts books and immediately began to inject longevity into the martial arts. You start to practice the ground level martial arts, walking in the snow to seek plum blossoms. This footwork is light and easy to follow. It is the best in footwork martial arts. Consumption of plundered longevity, 241 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. Jia, walking in the snow to seek plum blossoms, not yet started. Right pointing arrow perfect. Closing square bracket. ... Consumption of plundered longevity, 200 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. Xuanji's, Huishan footwork, not yet started. Right pointing arrow perfect. Closing square bracket. ... After studying 2 footwork martial arts books, Lu Yuan already had 5 footwork martial arts books at a perfect level. Integrated martial arts, Lu Yuan said decisively. Lost, glimpse, tracking in the sky, returning to the sky, walking in the snow to seek plum blossoms. Obtain, Tianji martial arts, Chengfang Xiaoyao Ju enhanced. ... Recharge Shouyuan and start the simulation. Footwork, this is the area you are least good at, and Chengfang Xiaoyaoju is an extremely difficult martial art. Looking at the dense fonts and unintelligible vocabulary, you are in pain. Closing square bracket. In the 200th year, you failed in your attempt to use the Chengfang Xiaoyaoju and fell from the top of the mountain. You gave up control of your body, carefully felt the strong wind in the mountain stream, and gained a hint of the artistic conception of riding the wind. Getting started with Chengfang Xiaoyaoju. 500 years, you seem to have mastered the trick. It only took you 500 years to practice Chengfang Xiaoyaoju to the basic accomplishment state. From then on, your body becomes as light as the wind, and at the same time, your cultivation level increases, breaking through to the primordial spirit 7th layer. Closing square bracket. In the 1502nd year, you did not emit any energy fluctuations, but your body danced with the wind in the air. You rode the wind, walked on the clouds, and could travel thousands of miles in a day. The secret of riding the wind is complete. ... Consumption of plundered longevity, 1,502 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. Tianji, Chengfang Xiaoyaoju strengthened not yet started. Right pointing arrow perfect. Closing square bracket. Cultivation. Primordial spirit 6th layer. Right pointing arrow 8th layer. Lu Yuan then continued to practice more Xuanji or Wangji martial arts. Although these martial arts did not add any blessing to Lu Yuan's combat power, they could help him understand the essence of martial arts. His cultivation level is also improving rapidly. Soon he reached the peak of primordial spirit realm. Amitabha, outside the forbidden area of Skull Mountain, 2 monks stepped on the void. One is fat and one is thin, one is short and one is tall. They wore simple linen monk robes and walked barefoot. With every step he took, golden ripples appeared under his feet, and he was already thousands of meters away in the blink of an eye. Senior brother, are we really going to take action against this mysterious Lu Shicheng? It is said that he is the reincarnation of Godfiend. The fat monk clasped his hands together, hesitating a little. The thin monk had a withered face, like a dying old man, but his words were full of murderous intent. Whether he is born Godfiend or supreme, anyone who disobeys me, Buddha, should be punished. What's more, he also stole a relic. This is the biggest secret of Jin Chan Temple. The 2 of them turned into golden light and flew toward the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. They were as fast as meteors and disappeared in an instant. Dot 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 dot. Mysterious cave mansion. Lu Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. It's time to prepare to break through. As soon as he thought about it, the colorful lotus flew in front of him automatically and got into his mouth. After removing it, you can see a group of colorful rays of light sinking down the throat through the flesh and blood, and finally stop at the dantian. For others, it will take several years to absorb the colorful lotus and break through the realm. However, Lu Yuan only needed a moment. Integrated martial arts. This time, Lu Yuan chose to integrate body training martial arts. This is also his fourth body training martial arts book. Lost. Prison suppressing magic. Obtain. Heavenly level martial arts. Immortal elephant prison suppressing power enhanced. Inject Shoyuan and start the simulation. Immortal elephant prison suppressing power. It is an unparalleled body refining martial arts, but the training method of body refining martial arts is also very simple. You only need to polish your body, which is the training method you are best at. Closing square bracket. In the 98th year of your hard work day and night, a tiny particle called the power of the divine elephant was finally born in your body, and your power was greatly increased. Introduction to the divine elephant's prison suppressing power. Closing square bracket. The power of the divine elephant is very powerful and can tear the world apart. Even though you have received many blessings from body refining martial arts, you still feel uncomfortable. Closing square bracket. 357th year. Over time and through hundreds of years of cultivation, you already have the power of 84,000 divine elephants in your body. The exercises have reached the level of basic accomplishment. In the 1901st year, you have cultivated the power of the 8.8 million divine elephants, and the power of the divine elephants has filled your body. You have obtained the legendary body of the elephant. The body of the idol can absorb energy and perform soul formation. The divine elephant's prison suppressing power is complete. Closing square bracket. Even though the technique has been perfected, you still haven't stopped practicing. Closing square bracket. While you are trying out more possibilities of the divine elephant's prison suppressing power, you are also trying to refine the colorful lotus in your dantian that looks like a living thing. Closing square bracket. In the 1951st year, you finally refined this colorful lotus heart, and the simulation ended. Closing square bracket. Consumption of plundered longevity. 2,500 years. Martial arts. The divine elephant's prison suppressing power, strengthened not yet started, right pointing arrow perfect. Cultivation. Primordial spirit 9th layer peak right pointing arrow violet palace realm. Closing square bracket. The remaining plundered longevity. 7,984 years. Closing square bracket. Lu Yuan's eyes bloomed, and a colorful ray of light poured out from his eyes, making the entire cave mansion colorful. Suck. Lu Yuan took a gentle breath. The spiritual power of heaven and earth with a radius of hundreds of miles was plundered in an instant and poured into his body crazily. Finally, they converged to dantian. The colorful glow, infused with spiritual energy, makes people dare not look directly at it. There seems to be something heaven-defying contained within the dantian. At this moment, black clouds were billowing across the sky, and thunder was raging. It seemed that even God would not allow such a heaven-defying thing to be born in his dantian. Lu Yuan looked up at the sky. Only by surviving the thunder tribulation can the real Violet Palace be quenched. This is one of the reasons why there are so few monks above the Violet Palace realm. The ferocious thunder dragon appeared in the black clouds, purple thunder arcs flashed continuously, and the huge dragon eyes were locked on Lu Yuan's body. Rumble. Blue and white lightning arcs descended from the sky and struck Lu Yuan's head. If he were an ordinary Violet Palace realm monk, faced with such a terrifying thunder tribulation, he would probably not die or be seriously injured. But Lu Yuan was not afraid at all. He just raised his hand and lightly touched the thunder arc with his fingertips. The terrifying thunder tribulation was directly shattered. Roar. Faced with Lu Yuan's provocation, Thunder Dragon was very angry. But before the Thunder Dragon could continue to show its power, Lu Yuan's figure completely disappeared. The secret to riding the wind with your feet. Lu Yuan's body is like a ghost, soundless, shadowless and invisible. Appeared in front of the Thunder Dragon very suddenly. His figure was as small as an ant in front of the tens of thousands of meters long Thunder Dragon. But for some reason, it gave people the illusion that he was bullying the Thunder Dragon. Shua. As soon as Thunder Dragon reacted, Lu Yuan's body had disappeared again. When he reappeared, he had already penetrated into the body of the Thunder Dragon composed of the Thunder Tribulation of Tiandao. Lu Yuan did not use his spiritual power to block the thunder. Instead, he let go of all defenses and only used his physical body to withstand the Thunder Tribulation. A mortal elephant prison suppressing power has the characteristic of swallowing up various powers to strengthen itself. The power of the divine elephant in his body is frantically devouring the Thunder Tribulation of heaven. Not enough, but Lu Yuan didn't seem satisfied. He grabbed a piece of black and purple thunder, opened his mouth and bit it. Crunch, crunch, he actually swallowed the Thunder Tribulation. In the blink of an eye, Lu Yuan swallowed the huge front paw of the Thunder Dragon. Not only was the thunder unable to cause damage to his body, it also became his nourishment. Lu Yuan's body became stronger and stronger, and there were even lightning arcs flashing in his eyes. Thunder Dragon didn't seem to have expected that such a situation would happen, and there was a hint of fear in his eyes composed of thunder. Its body couldn't help but retreat. It wanted to escape, but the cruel Lu Yuan grabbed its hind paws. In the end, the Thunder Dragon could only cut off one of its claws and run away. Does this count as success? Lu Yuan looked at himself internally. In the Dantian area, after the heavenly thunder tempering chain, a colorful lotus platform was quietly suspended. On each lotus petal, there was a mysterious Taoist rhyme engraved on it, which made people fascinated. On the lotus platform, the gold core in the form of a black and white yin-yang fish is suspended in the center, with dragons and phoenixes flying on both sides of the gold core. The gold core rotated, and the spiritual power began to rotate like the boundless sea water, spreading to all limbs and bones in an instant. Violet Palace is ready. Lu Yuan's eyes flickered. The soul spread out and instantly broke through the restriction of the soul here, covering hundreds of miles. Everything is in full view. There are human monks fighting against monsters for treasures, and there are stronger people hiding behind them, waiting for the fishermen to profit. There are also monks who do obscene things in secret caves. Some people are even doing cross-race things with monsters. It's so eye-catching. Suddenly, two figures bathed in Buddha's light appeared within the range of Lu Yuan's consciousness. One is fat, the other is thin, one is tall and the other is short, and they are rushing towards the direction where Lu Yuan is. From their bodies, Lu Yuan could feel a very familiar aura. Lu Yuan's eyes burst out with dazzling light. The old bald donkey from Jinshan Temple was passing by, still looking for death. These two old bald donkeys were surrounded by Buddha's light, and waves of majestic Sanskrit sounds came from them. The cultivation of these two monks, one fat and one thin, is obviously better than Master Sixing. Thin monk. This place smells of the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha. Fat monk. Find him and kill him immediately. Take back the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha. Lu Yuan quickly withdrew his soul. In a blink of an eye, two old monks came, and they were also strong men from the Violet Palace realm. Jin Chan Temple is so overbearing. However, they seem to attach great importance to the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha. They can even sense the location of the young monk. Lu Yuan became increasingly curious about the origin of this remnant soul of the ancient Buddha. At this moment, the little monk sitting cross-legged next to him was illuminated by the Buddha's light. At the young monk's dantian, an irregular spherical object emits golden light. This is the Violet Palace. The little monk's body became whiter and tenderer, and the Buddha's light became more dazzling. If you don't know the inside story, you will definitely think that this young monk is a born Buddhist. The young monk opened his eyes, clasped his chubby hands, and said piously, "Thank you Buddha for allowing the young monk to break through to the Violet Palace realm." Lu Yuan touched the little monk's bare head. This ghost and spirit formed from the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha is really strange. It was able to break through Violet Palace without any hindrance, without going through a catastrophe. As the level increases, you can also understand the divine ability of Buddhism. This is simply the most perfect beater. After devouring a large number of souls and demon spirits this time, the young monk even realized the powerful divine ability. Buddha's palm. Today, the young monk has 4 divine abilities. golden bell cover, Buddhist inscriptions, dragon transformation, and Tathagata palm. Although there are not many moves, each move is powerful. Lu Yuan was a little envious. But the little monk is just a ghost created by Lu Yuan. It is the embodiment of Lu Yuan's will. He can turn the little monk into soul fragments at any time, and then recondensate into another ghost. At this moment, the young monk frowned and looked outside the cave. Lord Buddha, you are hostile. Lu Yuan nodded. 2 old monks have come to seek revenge. Go and deal with them. Amitabha. The young monk recited a Buddhist name in a low voice. A golden ripple spread out, and fierce killing intent suddenly erupted from his body. The Lord Buddha is supreme. Anyone who dares to offend the Lord Buddha will be killed by the monk. They're in the swamp ahead, go ahead. Lu Yuan was very satisfied with the young monk's loyalty. Remember to swallow their souls and get their storage bags back. Lu Yuan rubbed his chin while watching the golden stream of light disappearing rapidly. It's not bad to have such a powerful helper. Moreover, the little monk is just a manifestation of Lu Yuan's power, so after the little monk kills the enemy, he can also rob others of their longevity. Jinshin Temple has great power. These 2 monks from the Violet Palace realm should have heaven-level martial arts. Lu Yuan can't wait to integrate martial arts beyond the heaven level. Hateful. 2 monks, one fat and one thin, wandered in the poisonous fog swamp for a long time. The thin monk was a little restless. This soul restriction is so powerful that our consciousness can only cover a few kilometers here. If this continues, how long will it take to find the thief? The 2 of them were like headless flies, spinning back and forth on the poisonous pool. The distance of hundreds of miles is only a matter of seconds for the monks in Violet Palace realm. The little monk just took a few steps in the air and reached the sky above the swamp. Soon, he discovered the 2 targets. It instantly turned into a golden light and flashed in front of the fat and thin monk. The 2 monks naturally felt the powerful aura coming from above. That's a toddler, and it's the scent of Violet Palace realm. He is probably less than 5 years old. At this age, he has the strength of Violet Palace realm, and the Buddha's light in him is purer than the 2 of us. How is this possible? The fat and thin monk was immediately confused. Be careful, this kid is very strong. The fat monk looked serious and nervous. It's just a young child, there is no need to be so vigilant. The thin monk clasped his hands together, his eyes shining with anticipation. If such a talented young man can join our Jin Chan temple, he will definitely make this temple prosperous for thousands of years. But before he finished speaking, a dazzling golden Buddha light shot out like lightning. Boom! The fat and thin monk hurriedly dodged, and the cassock on his body was shattered in an instant. F*K you heavenly venerable. The fat monk cursed, is there something wrong with this kid? He's going to do it as soon as he comes up. We are all monks, why can't we talk about Buddhist scriptures? Why do you take action as soon as you come up? Don't be impatient. The thin monk quickly comforted him. Such a proud man of heaven, as long as he can be converted to our Golden Chan temple, even if we sacrifice here, it will be worth it. Immediately afterwards, the thin monk put his hands together and recited the Buddha's name respectfully. Amitabha, we are both Buddhist monks. Why don't we start talking about Buddhism and debating Buddhist scriptures as soon as we meet? Wouldn't it be better? I see that you have a connection with our Jin Chan temple. Are you willing to come to our Jin Chan temple to practice? As he spoke, melodious Sanskrit sounds rippled around the fat and thin monk, and golden Buddhist inscriptions gradually emerged, confusing the young monk like a whirlpool. Defending Buddhism. The little monk looked puzzled, and Lu Yuan's teachings came to his mind. He clasped his chubby little hands together and bowed politely, and his little voice came out. The Lord Buddha said, God has the virtue of killing. Do you have anything else to argue? Why is this little monk even more evil than the monk from Jinshin Temple? Also, what's going on with the Lord Buddha he talks about? The fat and thin monks looked at each other with a bit of confusion in their eyes. Seeing that the little monk was ready to take action at any time, the corners of the fat monk's mouth twitched, and his face became increasingly ferocious. Lord Laoshizi Buddha, my Buddha is compassionate, and what I pay attention to is that God has the virtue of good life. We Buddhist monks should cultivate our moral character and guard against arrogance and impetuosity as our precepts. How can we kill so easily? The thin monk also recited the Buddha's Dharma. Good, good, good. The young monk should put down his butcher knife and become a Buddha immediately. Since we have met a fellow disciple who has gone astray today, we should help you get on the right path. Come with us. When we get to Jinshin Temple, I will help you change your mind and practice Buddhism again. The little monk opened his big round eyes and said, then why do you want to kill people? He is not a child, and he will not be fooled by the remarks of these two monks. Ouch! Buddha's light is raging. The cute little monk instantly turned into a powerful 5-clawed golden dragon. The dragon body of tens of thousands of meters hovered in the air, covering the entire sky. The pressure swept across. The invisible power storm raged, and the entire swamp began to flow. After the realm was improved, the aura of the 5-clawed golden dragon became even more powerful, causing the two monks to take a few steps back. The young monk took action and was never polite. The dragon swings its tail. The huge golden dragon tail swept forward, covering the sky and the sun, as if the heaven and earth were collapsing. The fat and thin monk was shocked. What happened? A born Buddhist turned into a 5-clawed golden dragon. What a hell! But the two of them had no time to think. This blow is very strong and must be blocked with all your strength. Bodhisattva Purple Gold Bowl. Vajra Beads. The fat monk offered the law weapon Purple Golden Bowl. The purple golden bowl grew when it saw the wind, and instantly turned into a huge bowl several meters long, suspended in midair, and the golden light shrouded the two of them. The thin monk threw the prayer beads in his hand. Buddha beads shot out one after another, lingering around the two of them, forming a protection. Boom! After transforming into a dragon, the young monk didn't need to use any moves at all. The powerful dragon body had already given him extremely powerful power. One effort will bring down 10. Boom! A blast of pure power. The diamond beads hovering in the air were directly smashed out and shot into the rocks. The golden light on the purple golden bowl also dimmed, and it was obvious that it had been severely damaged. Puff! Puff! Both monks spurted out a mouthful of blood, and then looked at the golden dragon in front of them in disbelief. These two are from Violet Palace realm. Still can't bear the tale of this 5-clawed golden dragon. Moreover, this blow is pure power, without even any energy contained in it. You are so weak and you want to kill Lord Buddha. Who gave you the courage? The body of the 5-clawed golden dragon hovered in the air, and the huge sound was like thunder, making people dizzy. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. The thin monk waved his hands quickly. We apologize for our previous inappropriate remarks, but we really are not here to cause trouble for you, Lord Buddha. We want to kill Lu Yuan. You must have misunderstood. The two monks couldn't care less. They just wanted to stay away from this weird thing. Whether this is the so-called Lord Buddha or this 5-clawed golden dragon. They can't afford to mess with them. Roar! Hearing Lu Yuan's name, the young monk became completely angry. Lu Yuan is the supreme Buddha, and you still say you don't want to kill the Buddha? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Countless question marks popped up on the two people's heads. Lu Yuan, Lord Buddha, how can this be? Both the fat monk and the thin monk were confused. Isn't Lu Yuan just a genius from the primordial spirit realm? How could he conquer such a terrifying existence? What is happening? Naturally, the young monk would not answer their questions. Now he just wants to complete the mission of Lord Buddha and then enjoy the two souls. Boom, boom, boom. With the continuous attacks, the golden light on the purple golden bowl became dimmer and dimmer. The two of them kept vomiting blood, and their faces became much pale. Please Buddha. A trace of murderous intent flashed in the fat monk's eyes. The thin monk also nodded. The two of them took out a golden relic at the same time. Buddha, please kill this beast for us. Two golden lights appeared behind the two of them, similar to the Buddha shadow summoned by Master Sixing before. Just the breath is slightly different. The little monk seemed to sense something, and the huge dragon head came closer. The reflection of Buddha's light appeared in the golden vertical pupils, and the young monk suddenly felt a desire. He was extremely eager to swallow these two beads. It seems that as long as you swallow them, you can become stronger. However, the Lord Buddha's order was to take everything back. At this moment, that familiar voice sounded in my mind. Kill them and eat them when you come back. With the Lord Buddha's instructions, the young monk is directly preparing to release the newly realized divine ability. A dazzling golden light flashed in the dragon's eyes. Swish! The huge dragon head flew straight into the sky, breaking through the clouds. Then he suddenly released the 5-clawed golden dragon form and turned into a cute little monk again. The little monk is 10,000 meters above the ground, with his eyes closed and his hands clasped together. Divine Buddha light pours out from the body. Boom! A huge palm print condensed by Buddha's light fell from the sky and crushed the fat and thin monk severely. Rumble! Huge commotion resounded throughout the valley. The purple gold bowl protecting the fat and thin monk was shattered, and the diamond beads also completely lost their light. The two of them spat out a mouthful of blood again, tried their best to activate the Buddhist light of the relic, and barely blocked the blow. The two just breathed a sigh of relief and prepared to escape. However, in the sky, there are dozens of palm techniques blooming with Buddha light and falling from the sky. Amy, NM, the fat monk cursed. But the law weapon has been broken, and they can only use martial arts to resist. Indestructible body. This is a heaven-level body refining martial art that focuses on defense. It is absolutely no problem to withstand a full-strength blow of the same level. Two monks, one fat and one thin, are surrounded by Buddha's light. Their entire bodies are as if they are made of steel, indestructible. The next moment, dozens of Buddha palms slapped the fat and thin monk. Boom, boom, boom. When the smoke and dust dispersed, the entire mountain had disappeared, leaving only the mark left by the huge palm and the lingering Buddha's light. The bodies of the fat and thin monks turned into meat. Until now, the little monk's body was wrapped in Buddha's light before he landed. The soul of Violet Palace realm can separate from the body and exist alone. After the physical body was destroyed, the soul of the fat and thin monk immediately came out and prepared to escape from here. But how could the little monk let the soul fly away? He was skilled in the technique, and he recited several Buddhist verses in an instant, trapping the souls of the two people. Then Zen sat on top of the fat and thin monk's corpse and began to eat their souls. The soul of Violet Palace realm is extremely powerful and is a great tonic for the little monk. After eating the two souls, the Buddha's light around the young monk became even stronger. Like the reincarnation of Buddha. Then, according to the Lord Buddha's request, the young monk held the two relics in his arms and took their storage bags. Then he flew in the direction he came from. Forbidden Ancient City. 9 golden dragons pulled a luxurious palace-like golden chariot and descended from the sky. Speeding along the main street of the Forbidden City, all the way to the city lord's palace. A sturdy man wearing a dragon robe got out of the chariot, and the shadow of a black dragon appeared on his body from time to time. Every move he makes is domineering and unparalleled, and his stern eyes make people dare not look directly into them. It seems that this person was born to stand above everyone. Father, you are finally here. City Lord Mo Yan came out and said with his hands in hand. Behind him, the old man in gray from Violet Palace realm still stood. The Emperor of Lingwu Kingdom, Mo Wushang, waved his hand. Your Majesty, there is no need to be polite. How did you check out Yuer's matter? Report to the Emperor Father. Mo Yan paused and said with some hesitation. Chen has sent people to check. There is no living thing in the swamp where Yuer's accident occurred, but there are traces of the special martial arts that Lu Yuan once performed. This matter is most likely related to Lu Yuan, but Lu Yuan is so powerful that it will be difficult for us to handle. Mo Wushang frowned slightly. Lu Yuan. It is rumored that he was once a waste of the 9 Shadow Demon sect, and then he soared into the sky. In just a few days, he broke through the primordial spirit realm, understood the golden body concept, and even had a powerful record of killing the Violet Palace realm by leapfrogging. The Emperor of Lingwu Kingdom had also heard of this peerless genius who had become famous recently. Mo Yan looked a little solemn. It's this person. This man's talent and talents are truly astonishing in the past and present. He is even called the reincarnation of Godfiend, born supreme. My son believes that we should not easily become enemies with such talented people. Mo Wushang snorted coldly, and the aura of the superior erupted, showing his authority without anger. You are a prince and you don't need to bow to anyone. So what if he is the son of Godfiend? The majesty of the royal family cannot be challenged by others. If Yuer is really killed by him, no matter he is a god or a demon, he must die. The overbearing and unparalleled words echoed in the Forbidden Ancient City. When Mo Wushang said these words, he didn't even hide anything. This is the tyranny of a country's emperor. After the words fell, Mo Wuxiang stepped onto the golden chariot again. Mo Yan frowned, and many thoughts flashed through his mind. Is his father crazy? Lu Yuan is not a weakling who can be easily manipulated. The other party understood the artistic conception of the golden body and easily leapfrogged and killed the Violet Palace Realm monk of the Golden Chan Temple. Although there are Violet Palace Realm ancestors and several Violet Palace realms in the royal family, but according to common sense, the father should not start a war with such a powerful enemy so easily. Moreover, Mo Wuxiang's confidence seemed to be too strong. Could it be that my father has a bigger trump card? Mo Yan couldn't help but start to doubt. You two should also prepare and go to Skull Mountain with me. Mo Wuxiang's majestic voice came from the golden chariot. Yes. Inside the mysterious cave mansion, 2 system prompts flashed in Lu Yuan's mind. Congratulations to the host, you killed CG, the elder of Jin Chan Temple, and cultivated to Violet Palace second layer. Total lifespan, 5,670 years. Closing square bracket. Remaining lifespan, 3,500 years. Closing square bracket. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 3,500 years. Closing square bracket. Congratulations to the host, for killing Si Yuan, the elder of Jin Chan Temple, and cultivating Violet Palace first layer. Total lifespan, 5,703 years. Closing square bracket. Remaining lifespan, 2,720 years. Closing square bracket. Successfully plundered Shoyuan, 2,720 years. Closing square bracket. The plunder of longevity has once again exceeded 10,000 years. Remaining plundered longevity, 14,205 years. Closing square bracket. Lu Yuangong glanced at the system panel. The golden Buddha light appeared again at the entrance of Cave Mansion. Lu Yuan touched the little bald head with satisfaction. Well done. The little monk was very happy. Zen sat on the ground, waiting for the Lord Buddha's instructions. Lu Yuan first explored the relics. These 2 relics are no different from the one of Master Si Sheng. They contain the remnant soul of the ancient Buddha, which can bring out the power of Violet Palace Realm. Moreover, the breath is similar and seems to come from the same ancient Buddha. In Lu Yuan's mind, that idea became stronger and stronger. If all the remnants of Jin Chan Temple are gathered together, will a complete ancient Buddha be obtained? Moreover, Jin Chan Temple is a force with ancient inheritance. Rich foundation. There must be many high-level martial arts in the Sutra Pavilion. Jin Chan Temple successfully attracted Lu Yuan's attention. After leaving the forbidden area of Skull Mountain, you must go to Jinshan Temple and let those old bald donkeys know what the consequences will be for offending him, Lu Yuan. Take a look at the relics. Lu Yuan threw it to the young monk. However, the remnant souls in these 2 relics still retain a trace of the Buddha's will. They are very powerful and cannot be swallowed directly by the young monk alone. Lu Yuan directly activated the 1,000 soul sacrifice, Edict of Ghosts and Gods. Edict of Ghosts and Gods, swallow souls. Under Lu Yuan's urging, the young monk's mouth opened 180 degrees. A mouth full of fangs. Like a devil, the remaining souls in the 2 relics felt threatened and immediately woke up, both emitting a Buddha light. However, under the dual offensive of Lu Yuan and Little Monk, Wuju's remnant soul was unable to resist at all. It was quickly eaten clean. The little monk's eyes bloomed with golden Buddha light, and a golden Buddha lotus shadow appeared under the body sitting cross-legged in midair. Good guy. This time, it's more like the reincarnation of Buddha. The remnant souls of these 2 Buddhas are very powerful, and it will take some time for the young monk to fully absorb them. Ignoring the little monk, Lu Yuan opened the storage bag. These 2 old bald donkeys have saved a fortune for thousands of years and are very rich. There are actually 120,000 high-grade spiritual stones. There are countless high-level elixirs. As expected, Jin Chan Temple has a great family and a great business. There is also a book on heavenly-level martial arts that Lu Yuan has been thinking about for a long time. And it's a heaven-level body-refining martial art. Indestructible body. The 5th heaven-level body-refining martial arts. Inject Shou Yuan and begin to simulate the indestructible body of Vajra. In the first year, you started to study Buddhism. When you saw the great principles in the scriptures, you felt very irritable. In the 50th year, you can already immerse yourself in Buddhist scriptures and feel a hint of the artistic conception of Buddhism. Closing square bracket. In the 135th year, you have been sitting cross-legged in the same place for 100 years. Over the years, you have been studying Buddhism and have understood the secret of the indestructible body of Vajra. Vajra indestructible body, getting started. The 630th year. In the 1050th year, your body will be shrouded in the Buddha's light, and your physical body will be like a copper wall and an iron wall, incorruptible and incorruptible. The indestructible body is complete. Closing square bracket. Consumption and plundering longevity, 1050 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. The indestructible body of diamond, not yet started, right pointing arrow perfection. Closing square bracket. Cultivation. Violet Palace first layer, right pointing arrow second layer. Remaining looted longevity, 12,604 years. Closing square bracket. Looking at Lu Yuan, who was surrounded by Buddha's light, the young monk was slightly curious. When did Lord Buddha practice Buddhist martial arts? As expected of Lord Buddha, it turned out that he had such a powerful Buddha's light in just an instant. Lu Yuan activated his indestructible body. The Buddha's light around him was so great that it was not even much weaker than the Buddha's light on the little monk's body. The 5 heaven-level body refining martial arts have been perfected. Now Lu Yuan's physical strength is almost comparable to that of a strong person in the golden body realm. However, this is not enough. Lu Yuan's eyes flashed with anticipation. The system consumes 10,000 years of life and integrates martial arts. Lost. Magic Dragon Body Shield strengthened. Little Nirvana Golden Body, 10,000 Dragons Pilgrimage, Immortal Elephant Prison Suppressing Power strengthened. Obtain. Transcendent Level, Ancient Holy Body Ultimate. Ancient Holy Body. Lu Yuan's eyes widened. It turned out to be the legendary Ancient Holy Body that could challenge the Great Emperor. Although there are only 2,000 years left to plunder longevity. But Lu Yuan still started to simulate training directly. In the first year, you began to practice the Ancient Holy Body that only existed in legends. You have quite a lot of experience in body training, and practicing the simple and crude, Ancient Holy Body, is naturally no problem. Closing square bracket. In the 7th year, after your research, you found that if you want to practice this method, you need to consume a lot of resources. The spiritual power of heaven and earth here is lacking, and it is impossible to cultivate the Ancient Holy Body. Closing square bracket. Lu Yuan woke up mentally from the simulation and waved his hand. Tens of thousands of high-grade spirit stones flew out of the storage bag and instantly covered the entire cave mansion. At the same time, thousands of bottles of elixirs to assist cultivation automatically flew into the air and gathered into a torrent of elixirs. The strong medicinal aroma and fresh spiritual power are intertwined. A thin layer of spiritual mist instantly condensed in the entire cave mansion. The intensity of spiritual power increased dozens of times in an instant. Gifts from heaven and earth, spiritual power surges in. With these rich spiritual powers of heaven and earth, you begin to continue cultivating the Ancient Holy Body. Closing square bracket. In the 235th year, this body refining method is a legacy from ancient times. Tens of thousands of years have passed, causing the laws of heaven and earth to be very different. If you want to practice this method, you need to break through the barriers of heaven. After 200 years, a lot of resources have been consumed, and there is still no way to break the barrier of heaven. You feel very desperate. In the 1540th year, your cultivation has improved and reached the Violet Palace 3rd layer. Closing square bracket. In the 1635th year, your hard work day after day has paid off. You finally opened a gap in the barrier between heaven and earth and found the way to get started with the Ancient Holy Body. Closing square bracket. In the 2,000 years, introduction to the Ancient Holy Body. You terminated the simulation. Closing square bracket. Consumption of plundered longevity, 2,000 years. Closing square bracket. Martial arts. Super heaven level, Ancient Holy Body ultimate not beginner, right pointing arrow beginner. Cultivation. Violet Palace 2nd layer right pointing arrow Violet Palace 3rd layer. The remaining plunder of Shoyuan, 604 years. Closing square bracket. Lu Yuan was also a little surprised. injecting 2,000 years of longevity, 50,000 spirit stones and hundreds of bottles of elixirs were consumed. I have just cultivated this ancient holy body to the entry level. If you want to practice to perfection, wouldn't it cost you 10,000 years of life? However, this body refining method is indeed powerful. Just after getting started, Lu Yuan felt the power of the ancient holy body. Now his physical strength is stronger than if he had practiced 5 heaven-level body refining martial arts. As he receives the gains in the simulation, there was a pressure on his body that was arbitrary and repressive for eternity. Ancient holy body, physically invincible, invincible to all evil. Challenge the great emperor. Just such a legend makes people feel excited. Even Zhang Mushui's natural divine body cannot compare with the ancient holy body. The ancient holy body only appeared in legends. In this world, the ancient holy body is absolutely unique. The pressure continues to increase. Lord Buddha. The little monk suddenly woke up from his practice, his eyes widened, and he didn't know what happened. Just now, Lord Buddha was still sitting cross-legged. Why did such a huge change occur in the blink of an eye? And this momentum is too strong, isn't it? The young monk looked at Lu Yuan's body. Suddenly, he felt boundless fear spreading in his heart, and he lay directly on the ground, trembling all over. Even the little monk's soul was trembling. In front of this body, he felt that he was insignificant, like an ant, unable to look up or overcome. The young monk could only bury his head as low as possible to reduce his pressure. Boom! At this time, the entire sky above the Skull Mountain Forbidden Area was covered by terrifying calamity clouds. The sky was clear, but in a blink of an eye, it was covered with dark clouds. The whole world turned into pitch black, and I couldn't see my fingers. In the vision, the Emperor's shadow emerged, and all the heavens surrendered. Only a majestic human figure stepped into the void, fighting against the great Emperor and fighting against the world. Years passed, the great Emperor perished, and the gods fell, but only that majestic figure still stood tall. At this moment, countless people looked up to the sky and looked at that majestic figure. No matter how powerful the monk was, they felt as humble as ants. Not worthy to be compared with such a person. Skull Mountain Forbidden Area. Tens of millions of monsters saw this terrifying vision, and hid in their caves one by one, trembling. The monks were even more frightened. They just took one look at the vision and lowered their heads completely. They were not qualified to look up to such existences. Only the little monk created by Lu Yuan could barely bear it and look at the vision 10,000 meters high. That majestic figure turned his back to all sentient beings, and no one could see his face, but the young monk knew very well that this was the great Lord Buddha. The Lord Buddha is indeed the supreme being. In this world, the Lord Buddha will definitely suppress all disobedience. All the proud men of heaven and the most evil evildoers will kneel before the Lord Buddha and surrender. In the face of Lord Buddha, even the way of heaven will eventually be obscure. Being able to have such a powerful Buddha Lord is definitely a blessing that this young monk has cultivated for hundreds of generations. Seeing the Lord Buddha's power, the young monk felt very honored. The vision in the sky quickly dissipated. After all, Lu Yuan's ancient holy body has just started, and it will not cause too much strange phenomena. But if you practice to the great accomplishment, I'm afraid this calamity cloud will fall. As for perfection, the ancient holy body in the perfect state will definitely be an existence that cannot be tolerated by heaven and earth. At this time, at the entrance to the Skull Mountain Forbidden Area, the golden chariot pulled by 9 golden dragons also stopped. The Emperor of Lingwu Kingdom and several other mysterious figures all looked to the sky in shock. What exactly is this vision? Mo Yan looked up in shock. What a terrifying vision. What was born in the forbidden land of Skull Mountain? It can challenge the great Emperor, and even last forever. This is countless times more powerful than the divine body. The old man in grey clothes also said in fear. Eyes widened. Faced with such visions, even the powerful Violet Palace realm felt fear. That is the legendary great Emperor. In the vision, he was actually killed by this person. 2 visions were born in the forbidden area of Skull Mountain within one day, and the visions became more and more terrifying. I don't know what kind of treasure was born. Father, you need to be careful during this trip. Mo Yan's face was extremely solemn. Mo Wushang nodded, but his expression remained as usual. The forbidden land of Skull Mountain has been a strange place since ancient times, and even many powerful people from Violet Palace have been lost in it. I'm waiting for this trip to make a quick decision. Kill that kid, avenge Ewer, and then leave the Skull Mountain forbidden area immediately. Don't get involved in this vision. I obey the Emperor's order. Everyone said in unison. Subsequently, 9 golden dragons soar into the clouds and ride in the mist, and golden chariots ride through the air. A dozen powerful black-robed monks followed closely behind. The terrifying aura caused all explorers to stay away from the forbidden area of Skull Mountain. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.